Lansing's only sports station. The Game, 7:30.
Let's play.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another season of high school football here on the Game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network. And we're brought to you, as always, by Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission. Tonight, it's the battle for the Cedar Street Trophy. It's Mason at Holt. These two teams have resumed their rivalry in the last few years. Mason was victorious last year, but Holt looking for revenge on their home field. Coming up on this pregame show, my interviews. First with Mason head coach Gary Houghton, followed by my interview with Holt coach Chad Folk, and then my two-part interview with Brian Calloway, the prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. But before we get to all of that, and we get to the game coverage, Eric Doc Love will join me from Mike Smith Memorial Field in Holt after the interviews are all done. Before all of that, it's the season premiere of This Week in High School Sports with John Ross.
MHSAA athletes come back from Paris with medals and a celebration a century in the making. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Welcome back to another school year and another season of highlighting stories from across the state. The 2024-25 school year is a special one here at the MHSAA. It is our 100th year, a century of celebrating school sports. All year long, we'll highlight the people, places, and things that have helped shape the MHSAA. Rivalries, records, top players, we'll look back at it all, both at MHSAA.com and on our social media pages. For example, on August 26th, 2017, Dylan Gordon had a 99-yard run for North Farmington, tied for the longest in MHSAA history. On August 29th, 2003, Ben Baragray of Gaylord had 7 quarterback sacks in a game against Ogama Heights. And on August 30th, 2010, the highest scoring tied soccer game happened twice. Berrien Springs and Buchanan tied at 6, as did Coloma and Cassopolis. Every day this school year, we'll highlight records from the past 100 years. And each Friday is Photo Friday. We'll be showing off historical photos from our files. And every week we'll be highlighting something that has helped make the MHSAA what it is today. So check us out online and on social to see how we're celebrating a century of high school sports. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. Traverse City St. Francis's Grace Slocum, she shot a 2 under 142 to win the Bob Lober Classic by a whopping 14 strokes. Bay City John Glenn's Trent Phillips, he netted the game winner in a 1-0 victory over Bay City Western in the Bay County Boys Soccer Championship. Earlier in the day, Phillips scored his first career goal. And at Jennison's Seth Connor, the senior was the fastest at the Benzie Pete Moss Invite. Jennison was also the best cross-country team in the Big School Boys Division.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Director of Officiating Services, Sam Davis.
In football, it's often said that holding happens on every play. But does it? When an offensive player uses their hands or arms to illegally restrain a defensive player, that's holding. This typically happens when blockers grab or pull defensive players away from their path, impeding their ability to make a play. The penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. Defensive players can be flagged for holding as well. That's also a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down for the offense. An example of defensive holding is when a cornerback grabs a receiver to slow him down before the ball is thrown. If that same contact happens while the pass is in the air, then it's pass interference. Defensive pass interference is a 15-yard penalty.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. The MHSAA was well represented at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. 15 athletes who played an MHSAA sport participated, with 3 bringing home a medal. Grand Blanc's Grant Fisher earned 2 bronze medals in the 5,000 and 10,000 meter races. He's the first American to medal in both events at the same Olympics. Caledonia's Elena Olsen was on the bronze medal-winning women's rugby team. And Devin Booker, who played basketball at Granville his freshman year, was on the gold medal-winning men's basketball team. Heath Baldwin, Adam Kuhn, Freddie Crittenden, Aaron Cummings, Andrew Evans, Hobbs Kessler, Grace Stark, and Abby Tamer were all also in London for Team USA. 4 other countries were represented by an MHSAA athlete. Cindy Ophelia Sember ran for Great Britain. Miles Amin wrestled for San Marino. Alex Rose threw the discus for Samoa. And Udodi Anwuzurike ran for Nigeria. Congrats to all who qualified, and we hope to see even more familiar faces at the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll be back next week.
The Game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN.
Joining us once again on Doubting Industries' presentation of high school football, the 8th-year head coach for the Bulldogs of Mason. He's Coach Gary Houghton. Coach, thanks so much for coming on once again.
Thanks for having me on, Brock.
Well, frankly, you're coming off the best season in school history. 13-1, CAAC Red outright champs, Division III district and regional champs, finalists in Division III. Unfortunately, you simply ran into a better team at Ford Field that Thanksgiving weekend, or last Thanksgiving weekend, I should say. Grand Rapids Forest Hill Central beat you 27-10 in the finals. I know A.J. Martell got hurt, and that did affect things, but, man, it just watching the game, it just looked like it was simply a case you just ran into a better team in the state title game.
Yeah, Forest Hill Central is certainly a very good team. And unfortunately, we had a lot of injuries coming into that game. I wish we had been healthy coming in. I think it would have been a little more, I think it would have been a much more competitive game. And it probably would have come down to the last possession. I thought we were pretty evenly matched, looking at it, both teams on film. But, that's the way football goes, and especially high school football. The longer you go, the more injury prone you tend to be. So that's just the way it goes.
Still, something to be proud of and something you'll be talking about for years and years coming down the road in the next, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever. Unfortunately for you, most of those guys are gone. I mentioned A.J. Martell. He's gone. A lot of your receivers are gone. But you've got a great pitcher coming back. Probably the best quarterback in the history of Mason High School, Kason Carswell, back for one more season. He's headed to Western Illinois, or at least he's committed anyway. 6'4", 190 pounds. Talk about Kason Carswell and what he's meant to you personally and to the program.
Well, Kason's just been a great quarterback. That goes without saying. He holds just about every record at Mason, and he's going to probably put those completely out of reach this season. He is certainly one of the key leaders of this team. He brings a lot of great energy and a lot of confidence when he goes into a game. He's very, very prepared. He's probably one of the best students of the game I've ever coached. And, we're excited to have him with us one more year.
All right, I talked about the guys that you have lost. It's really too many to mention, but you do have some guys coming back. And you told Tim Stout earlier this summer that even though you've got a lot of new guys, they're still with a lot of experience. How is that possible?
Well, a lot of our skill guys were able to get some reps behind our key guys last year. We had a lot of games. We got some nice leads, and we were able to get these guys in and get them some meaningful reps. Sam Corey is a great example. Sam's going to be one of our key receivers, and he led our team in sacks last year. He's back. Devlin King is another one who's going to be a key receiver and a corner for us. He got some reps last year. There's several guys. Caleb Vaughn, Logan Dorr, Joey Child, Alan Gardner, and we've got some young guys that are coming up that they're ready to fill those shoes. So skill-wise, I'm very pleased with our progress, and I think it's going to come down to how quickly our offensive defensive line comes together. And if they figure this out, I think this team could be very special.
Yeah, I see number 77, Rory Wentz, 6'7", 285. He's got to be starting for you on the D-line, isn't he?
He will be, yeah. He'll be starting both ways. He is a exceptionally large human being, and he's a hard guy to move. And when he blocks you, you stay blocked. That's the nice thing about having that kind of size.
And Coach Gary Houghton in his 8th season for Mason, you do have your kicker back, Colin Winters. He's been exceptional for you these last couple of years. Talk about how important he is to your team.
Yeah, Colin's been great. He's a soccer player that also kicks for us, and he's done a great job splitting those and working on his game. And he is approaching the all-time record at Mason for made extra points. Ironically enough, it's his soccer coach that holds the record that he's about to break. And yeah, that must be an interesting discussion of practice. But he kicked some long field goals for us last year against Walled Lake Western. I believe I think his longest is 42, 43 yards, somewhere in that range. So he's got the leg, and his accuracy is very good. So, we feel like if we get in a situation where we need him, he's going to come out and get it done.
Gary Houghton, the 8th-year head coach for Mason, joining us on the pregame show. Your opponent's a familiar foe, at least it has been in recent years. I'm so glad Mason and Holt are playing each other, and it's a trophy game. I love trophy games in high school. It's for the Cedar Street Trophy. You beat them easily last year in Week 1, 52-14. Holt really struggled by their standards, and by a lot of people's standards. 2-7 isn't very good, but they're looking for a lot of improvement. And you got to go to Holt. Game is at Holt High School, and they've got a lot of people coming back, so they're looking for a better season. Talk about this Holt squad coached by Chad Falk.
Yeah, I do believe they are greatly improved. Like you said, they have everybody back. They were very young last year. I think they learned a lot. The kids physically matured, and they learned the game. Just watching the film that we have on them, this certainly is a better team. So I know we're going to have to play our best, and we have to eliminate our mistakes to be fortunate enough to win this one.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, what are one or two keys for a big road win and to retain that Cedar Street Trophy? You already talked about it, mistakes, turnovers, penalties. You're going to expect some in Week 1, won't you?
You have to expect a little bit because, there's the old adage, the greatest improvement you have is between Weeks 1 and 2, and this is really when you find out what you have. And I think it's going to come down to our offensive line being consistent and allowing us to establish a running game, and everything else will flow off of that. Once we get our running game going, then our passing game works, and this could be a very, very potent offense when that comes together.
How long do you think that would take? Do you think it could take with the new guys?
It could happen in the first game.
Okay,
it's one of those things develop sort of spontaneously when it just comes together, and that group sort of gels and they got it figured out. I think the other key is to stop the run. I think that's going to be a big thing for us. We certainly have the linebackers. We're going to find out how we are up front.
He's the 8th-year head coach for the Bulldogs of Mason, Coach Gary Houghton. Coach, thanks so much. Best of luck, and we will talk to you next week because tentatively we're looking at DeWitt at Mason next week.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks to Gary Houghton for joining us on the pregame show. More of Doubting Industries' presentation of high school football after this on the game 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
WVFN.
Welcome back to Doubting Industries' presentation of high school football. Joining me once again on the pregame show, the 10th-year head coach for the Rams of Holt High School. He's Coach Chad Falk. Coach, thanks so much for coming on once again.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Rough season last year. A 2-7 record. That's a rough season. I mean, everybody has bad seasons every once in a while. How surprised were you that you were 2-7 last year?
Not really. The year before, we had the COVID years the year before. We were pretty good in 19. Had the COVID season where we were, on again, off again, all that stuff. But during that COVID season, we had a pretty group of sophomores, probably about 35 sophomores that we had pulled up to varsity because we were just varsity only. And that was our 2022 group. And that's when they were all seniors. So we graduated pretty heavy in that 2022 season where we graduated 33 seniors. So we knew that we were going to be taking a hit the next year, right? The class behind them was very small because they didn't get to play that COVID year.
Right.
So a lot of them didn't come back out. So we ended up starting 12 sophomores last year. And, when you're playing with a JV team versus some varsity teams in the blue, you're going to take some lumps. So we knew that was going to be the case. Nobody ever wants to say they're having a rebuilding year, but that's exactly what we were having. Right? And so we knew we were going to take some lumps. The biggest thing that I was looking for last year was, are we getting better from week 1 to week 9? And are we staying in the fight or are we giving up? And our guys, even though they were undersized in every single one of those games, they're little sophomores fighting against 18-year-old grown men who have been playing in the blue a long time, and they never gave up. I used that analogy of Captain America. When you watch that, before he became the super soldier, he's the guy in the alley who's way undersized and just getting beat up, but he keeps getting up and he keeps fighting. And that's what our guys did last year. So all of those tools that we knew we needed to have a good team, they were there. Nobody ever wants to say they're having a rebuilding year, but that's exactly what we had last year. And we did that over the off season. We averaged around 55 guys every single day in the weight room throughout the winter and the spring, where, we talked about it a couple of times. Our guys last year, when they came in the spring, we only had 3 guys in the entire program that could bench 180 pounds, right? And this year, when we did the same testing exactly a year later, we had over 30 guys that could bench 180 pounds, with 20 of them doing it over 15 times. So we've gotten tremendously stronger, but also with only losing 1 guy from last year's roster, we've got a tremendous amount of offense and defense in that the guys remember from last year. They're all back in those spots, and but now they're a lot stronger and know what it takes to play in the blue. So I know a lot of people will still, kind of vote against us until they see us play, but we know we got a lot better, and now we just got to go out and prove it.
10 starters back on offense and defense. You talked about losing 1 guy. Did that 1 guy start on offense and defense, and you're just really replacing 1 guy?
1 guy. That's it. We're replacing 1 senior from last year.
Who was that?
Everybody else. It was Maddox Wright.
Okay.
He started at tackle for us on offense and then defensive tackle on defense. But he was the only guy that we had to replace. And having the depth issues and being so small last year, we had a lot of guys who played. So we've got some guys now that may be number 2 or 3 on that depth chart that are still had a tremendous amount of playing time last year. So we're pretty excited. Last year when you watched us play, we had struggled throwing the ball quite a bit in the games. But this year when we went away to 7-on-7s and all that, we threw extremely well. And so some of those guys that started last year as sophomores, that was their first year playing. And Michael Williams and Manolo Williams, which you'll probably hear their name a lot this season, those guys really transformed their bodies into football bodies. And we're pretty excited to see what they can do.
He's the 10th-year head coach for the Rams of Holt High School, Chad Falk, joining me on the pregame show. All right, who's your quarterback before we talk about Mason?
Ethan Melville. He started at strong safety for us last year. And then coming into the season, we thought he'd be competing for that quarterback job, but he was struggling to throw the ball and get the ball where he wanted it to be. Well, it turns out we find out week 4 that he actually had a broken hand and was had some other complications going on with that, and so they had to go in and do some surgery right away. So his season got cut a little short, but now he's back and throwing the ball a lot better and still starting on defense. So he's going both ways for us, so we're pretty excited about him.
Quarterback and defensive back, I assume?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. All right. Chad Falk joining us here on the pregame show. All right, let's talk about your Cedar Street rivals, the Mason Bulldogs. They had their best season in school history last year. Won the CAAC Red, that was expected. Won the district, that was expected in Division III. Had an exciting, thrilling finish to win the regional last year, and then beat Detroit Martin Luther King to get all the way to the finals, and simply lost to a better Grand Rapids Forest Hill Central team in the finals, losing 27-10. You know how good this Mason squad is? Even though they lost a whole bunch of guys, they've still got that great pitcher in Kason Carswell.
They do. So you gotta. They still have a lot of tools you got to try to stop. Not to mention how tough they are, and so you got to be able to match their toughness. And we just got to be able to get to them a little bit. I don't know how much you got pressured last year. It wasn't very much because that offensive line they had was so good.
Right.
But they're going to have some young guys across there. If we can get some pressure, especially with some of these juniors that we have, we got a couple guys, Carl Flinton, who I think could be the next big defensive end coming out of Holt. He's extremely fast, and he's a real. I mean, we got some guys that will go play at the next level, and it's hard to stop him. I think we'll be able to get some pressure on Kason there, and maybe disrupt some things that he's not used to having. If we can do that and maybe disrupt that passing game, we got a shot.
Other than trying to disrupt the passing game, what are one or two big keys for a big, I would say, upset win over an outstanding Mason squad?
Yeah, like I said, people are going to think it's an upset, and we will let them. But in the fences around Holt, we believe that we've got a shot against them, and that we're not necessarily the underdogs, but we're the ones going hunting. And so we got to be able to run the ball like we normally do, be able to pass, not be so one-dimensional as we were towards the end of last year. But if we can control the ball and keep the ball out of his hands and then get some pressure on him and make them more one-dimensional, then we got a pretty good shot. But we are pretty athletic with all those guys coming back, and we got a lot of speed to pass the ball around, and we just got to get the ball in the right guy's hands at the right time. We'll be okay.
He's the 10th-year head coach for the Rams of Holt High School. He's Coach Chad Folk. Coach, thanks so much for coming on. Best of luck against Mason.
All right, thank you so much.
And you're listening to Doubting Industries' presentation of high school football on the Game 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
Lansing Sports Leader, the Game 730 AM. The pregame show continues with my two-part interview with Brian Calloway, the prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. Man, these high school seasons go so fast, the year goes so fast, and voila, here we are in late August talking high school football once again. I'm glad to see, and I follow you on social media, that you're able to get away for a few months anyway to follow your son's baseball team and actually get some vacation. Where'd you go this summer?
Yeah, I went a few different places. Chicago, Cincinnati, Louisville. So I was able to get around a little bit, do some stuff with his baseball team as well, too, and things like that. So it's kind of nice to recharge over the summer months and just kind of get away from the day-to-day grind that, covering high school sports is. Which is about a 9 to 10 month job for you, man. Kudos to you. All right, enough with the festivities. Let's get to the action. First of all, from last year to this year, no rule changes for football. I think that's a refreshing thing. I don't think the MHSA needs to mess around with the rules anytime soon. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only real notable change is, teams with jersey numbers and make the numbers have to be visibly seen, which is not really a rule change, but just kind of a equipment change as well. But, I mean, that's obviously something that is big for people who, like you, are calling games for press box, right. Even for fans to be able to see in the stands, just to be able to see what number actually has the ball, because some of these uniforms that schools are making these days, I mean, with the white jerseys, and then maybe you might have a white number that's like kind of outlined in a light color, and you can barely even tell from afar, who is it carrying the ball or whatnot. So, I mean, I think that was kind of the main big change that there was this year. And I mean, obviously that's a very important change for people like us and people in the stands who are trying to follow along with the action and and see who may have the ball.
Well, I guess I forgot about that. But I was thinking more like, no increase in timeouts, no change to the play clock, things like that. No change to that. And I think, and certainly that change you talked about certainly will help us in the media and in the press box. All right, take a look back to last season. Mason was the only area team to get all the way to Ford Field and play for a state title. Best team in school history, and just came up short against an outstanding Grand Rapids Forest Hill Central team. Too bad about the injury to A.J. Martell. Might have been a closer game, but just watching that game and listening to it, I thought Forest Hill Central just simply the better team on that day.
They were, and also, you have to think about Forest Hill Central. They had been there the year before while competing in Division II as well, too, so they had the big game experience like that as well, too, which is obviously something, coaches may downplay, like, it's not that big of a deal or whatnot. But, something like that is pretty big for a group of kids who maybe have experienced something like that the year before and kind of know what the settings are and what surrounds, being in a state championship game at Ford Field. So, obviously, that experience, I think, played some part, but obviously as well, too, they got it down on the football field as well, too, and proved themselves as the state championship team in Division III.
Also, East Lansing got all the way to the semifinals, lost to a better team in Muskegon in Division II, and Portland got all the way to the semifinals, and they lost there as well. But, man, two outstanding teams, and they look to be outstanding again this year. But, last year, man, what a great season East Lansing had with Jace Clarizio. And even though he had injuries last year, his backup Duarte Sams had a very good year. And Ben Fletcher, their quarterback, very good. Just athletes all over the place. Talk about East Lansing before we get to Portland.
Yeah, East Lansing, obviously, last year, getting somewhere that they hadn't been. I think it was like 2007 was the last time that they had even got into the stage of reaching a semifinal. And, they've had some pretty talented teams over the years under Coach Bill Ferracco that have fallen just short. I look at the team the COVID year with Andrew Anthony and Ethan Boyd and that crew.
Yeah.
Some of the pieces that they had. And then, they were played Muskegon Mona Shores to the wire.
We did that game.
Regional game in January in the snow. But, I thought that team was pretty good. And they've had some other teams that were pretty special that you thought might do some things as well, too. But this was the group that kind of was the one that got over the hump and did some special things this year. They had a home game in the regional, which was big for them. I think Byron Center, being able to knock them off. And then, you get a guy like a Jace Clarizio that's going to Michigan State, and some of the other pieces that they had around. They had a Eastern Michigan commit, Javon Thomas, that was on the line. They had, Ben Fletcher had kind of come to his own as a quarterback. And there's a lot of other talented pieces that really helped them to get to where they were last year. And I'm expecting big things from them once again this season.
Brian Calloway, Prep Sports Editor of the Lansing State Journal. And finally, Portland, Division 5 semifinalist, lost a low-scoring game in the semifinals. I believe it was 14-0, but that's a program out there at Portland. Coach John Navarro's got it going. They run that wing T offense to a T, and they, no pun intended, and they just, they run variations of it on offense. They're always strong defensively, great offensive line, and they got the guy that can throw it in the coach's son, and Dominic Navarro showed it last year. I think you're going to see more of it this year, but as far as last year's go, just another outstanding season.
Yeah, and you wonder what could have been with Portland, because obviously their big horse, Caden Thalen, goes down with an injury in the regional win that they had. I believe it was over Niles in that game that he went down with an injury. So who knows what happens if they have him healthy in that semifinal game and what kind of run they might be able to go on. But that team was very special, like you said, did plenty of damage defensively, and they showed an ability to throw the ball as well, too. And like you said, I think that's an area of their game that they maybe are hoping to maybe expand upon this season with all the talent that they have coming back, and then also the talent that they are bringing out from a junior varsity squad that was pretty successful as well.
And quickly, talking about those teams, they look to be among the favorites again this year. East Lansing in the CAAC Blue. Mason, even though they've got a lot of guys gone, they've still got that great quarterback in Case and Carswell, and that'll give them a chance. We just talked about Portland. got a lot of guys back. They just reload every single year, and they've got a senior quarterback in Dominic Navarra. You've already touched on the prospects this year. What are some other teams to look at that could challenge before we talk about the CMAC?
I definitely think DeWitt is a team that, it kind of feels weird that, we haven't really talked about them as of yet, just because of how dominant that program has been over the years. But for their standards, it's kind of been a quieter last 2 years really last year for that program, because they still made a run the year before. But last year was one of those rare years where the program didn't win a league title and they didn't win a district title, which is almost unheard of when you think of teams that are coached by Rob Zimmerman. But I think this team that they have this year, they were a little on the younger side last year, and they have a lot of experience back from a squad like that. And they have a lot of talent as well, too, when you look at guys that are getting looks from Division I programs or getting offers from D2 programs. So I think they are going to be a very dangerous team in the CAAC Blue, and a team that can make us some noise in Division III as well, too. And then, Hazlitt's a team that could be intriguing with a guy like Corey Amakri, that's, got all the Power 5 offers that's out there. And obviously, we saw his older brother, Nakai, make a big mark for Hazlitt the last 2 years, and now it's going to be Corey's turn to kind of be in the spotlight. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do and see if they can be a factor in the CAAC Reds there.
And finally, CMAC, it pretty much starts with PW, although they'll get challenged again by Fowler and others. Talk about the CMAC.
Yeah, Palmbos is pretty much, the league title has kind of gone through them for most of the last decade. 2022 was that 1 year where Fowler and Langsberg emerged and shared the title with them. But, Palmbos has got a lot of pieces back. Braden Dalen is a big guy back for them that was a 1,000-yard rusher and contributed in a lot of different ways for them as well, too, offensively and defensively. So I definitely expect to see them, back there again. Fowler's got their quarterback back, Jacob Hoffman. And, they should be dangerous again as well, too. And they showed an ability to throw the ball as well, too. So I think, when you look at the CMAC, it starts with those two teams. Some of those other teams, are intriguing as well, too, that are coming off of playoff bursts, like Bath. They made the playoffs for 2 straight years for the first time in school history. So they're a team that's kind of had some success lately. Langsberg was in the playoffs last year. Perry qualified for the playoffs for the first time in school history last year as well, too. So there were a number of programs in that league that, did some good things last year, and we'll be trying to build upon that and to try to challenge those two teams that have constantly been at the top. And Saranac is another one of those teams that made the playoffs last year as well, too, for that league, and could be pretty good this year as well, too.
He's Brian Calloway, Prep Sports Editor of the Lansing State Journal. We'll preview Week 1 in Part 2 of our interview coming up next here on the Game, 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
Lansing's only sports station, the Game, 730 AM.
Let's play.
Back for another segment with Brian Calloway, Prep Sports Editor of the Lansing State Journal. A couple things didn't mention, and some positive things, I think, for the Mid-Michigan area. Number one, Perry joins the CMAC after playing as an independent in football last year. They played in the CMAC and all the other sports last year, but they join in football this year. That's a good thing. And also Maple Valley, Vermontville Maple Valley. Very good in 8-player football the last few years, but going back to playing 11-player football. Just looking at it, I think it's because they were not making the playoffs in 8-player football simply because they had too much of an enrollment. What do you think about all of that?
Yeah, it's that, but also maybe they felt like their numbers were better in their program as well, too, and wanted to get back to playing in the 11-player format as well, too. So obviously, with doing that, they'll be able to kind of reunite with one of their former league rivals in the GLAC in Stockbridge, who's also now a part of the Big 8 as well, too. And Stockbridge was a team that played as an independent last year as well, too, because they didn't have a home at that point in time. So both of them will be playing in the Big 8 together, and that's a league that has schools like Springboard and Quincy and a few schools like that. So obviously that's a big development for both of those teams to be able to play in a league in football.
And also Potterville, which has had participation issues for years. A once great program, really, really struggled. They thought about going to 8-player football full-time, played some games at 8-player football, only played 2 varsity games at 11-player last year, but they're back playing a full 11-man schedule or a 9-game schedule, 11-player football, and I think that's a good thing. That's a program that needs to have, 11-player football full-time.
Yeah, it's a good thing for them as well, too. Last year, they were able to build some experience despite their limited schedule, and now they feel like they are more equipped to be competitive in the CMAC, which obviously, that's a tough school. That's a tough league for small school football as well, too. So you want to be able to put your best foot forward into a league like that when you're going against teams like Palmbos, Westphalia, and Fowlers. But it's good to see Potterville back, playing a full 11-player schedule.
All right, let's get to the Week 1 matchups. We start with East Lansing hosting Portage Central. They beat Portage Central twice last season. East Lansing's got most everybody back. They're the favorites to win the CAAC Red. I got East Lansing winning at home in this one. How do you see it?
Yeah, I like East Lansing at home in this one as well, too. I think this is a team that, is motivated after getting a taste of the semifinals last year and is excited to see what they can do. So I like East Lansing to start their season off with a win.
Grand Ledge has had quarterback issues the last couple of years. Otherwise, they might have advanced further in the playoffs. They get a tough one. They always play a tough non-conference schedule, hosting Holland West Ottawa.
I like Grand Ledge in this one. I think they're a team that's got some talent on their roster. You look like a guy like Preston Bonet, who is, I believe, committed to Ferris State. And he was a guy that, was in the mix for them at quarterback and can do a lot of things for them as well, offensively and defensively as well, too. So I like Grand Ledge to start off with a win.
DeWitt at Hazlitt. I'm so glad these two teams are playing each other. They played a close game last year down in Ann Arbor at Michigan Stadium. Thanks to Nakia Mockery, it was a close game because otherwise DeWitt would have dominated the game. This should be a whale of a game at Jamie Gent Stadium. I got DeWitt in a close one. How do you see it?
Yeah, that was actually 2 years ago, the Nakia Mockery game at Michigan Stadium.
Was it 2 years ago already?
That was 2 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Years ago, because last year was the game, the day they actually started the season. They got through half the game at DeWitt.
Oh, okay.
And had to come back the next day to finish it because of the storms that came through the area that day. So
the worst. Yeah, the worst thunderstorm I ever drove through in my entire life, and I was just scared to death driving home from Mason that night. Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, that was a awful night. But I remember that game because Hazlitt had forced a lot of turnovers early in the game and had I think they were ahead of DeWitt as well too before DeWitt finished strong.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
But going back to the game, I like DeWitt in this game. I think they'll get started off with the win. I think it could be a very entertaining game, but I think DeWitt picks up the win here.
All right, two city schools, Sexton and Everett, playing at 5 o'clock. These two teams made the playoffs last year. Good for the city of Lansing, good for the Lansing School District that both teams made it. Sexton got off to a great start last year and then kind of fell off a bit at the end. Everett was able to squeeze out a playoff berth and eventually lost to East Lansing in the first round of the playoffs. This game at Archie Ross Stadium, they played a whale of a game last year. Sexton was able to win it. How do you see this one?
Yeah, like you said, good thing for the city schools. I mean, I think last year was the first time since 2014 that two city schools had been in the playoffs in the same year together. So that was definitely a big step forward for them. And I think this will be a pretty good game as well between both of these teams, which have some momentum after getting into the playoffs last year in their program, and obviously that's a good thing for both. But I think Everett gets the season started off with a win. I feel like they have a little bit more talent that's coming back. Sexton is going to be breaking in a new starter at quarterback in some other areas. So I'm going to go with Everett in this game. All
right, moving on. Williamston at Lansing Catholic, longtime rivals doing battle again. This one at Lansing Catholic, they've played legendary games in the past. I remember the rock pile game when Cooper Rush was in high school, and they rallied from 28-16 down with 4 minutes to go to force overtime and ended up winning it in overtime. One of the wildest high school games I've ever seen. This should be one whale of a game, too, between two great programs.
Yeah, no, I would expect this game to be very good as well, too. Lansing Catholic's got some key pieces back when you look at it, guys like Braden Rabidou, Alex Fernandez, their quarterback. And I think this is a team that's going to be hungry to get back, to its winning ways and to doing what it's done offensively. But I think defensively was an issue for them last year as well, too, when they were able they gave up way more points than they're used to giving up under Coach Jim Baker. But I think Williamston will squeak out a close game here, but I think this game could go either way, but I think I'm going to go with Williamston here.
Portland at Detroit Country Day. Portland always plays a tough non-conference schedule. They've played DeWitt in the past. They've played Ovid Elsie every year for a few years. All they got to do is go to Detroit Country Day. Wow.
Yeah, and Detroit Country Day kind of had a down year for their standards last year, but they do play some tough competition. But I'm going to go with Portland to go on the road to pick up a win here.
All right. Moving on, let's talk about, we talked about them earlier in this segment. Maple Valley and Potterville. They're playing each other in 11-player football at Potterville. These two teams, you don't know what to expect. Potterville hasn't been very good in the last few years. We know Maple Valley's had success in 8-player football. You don't know what to expect in this one. How do you see it?
Yeah, I am kind of on the same page of you just because we don't really know what to expect in a matchup like this. Obviously, Maple Valley has some momentum with what it was able to do in the 8-player format last year, but now they're transitioning back to the 11-player format. And then Potterville had a limited schedule playing in 11-player football last year as well, too, and returned some players as well, too. I'm going to go with Potterville in this one. I think I'm going to go Potterville, so that's my take on that one.
Okay, and before we talk about Mason and Holt, the two teams with the longest losing streaks. Okemos, 40-game losing streak. Longest in the state, active-wise. They're at St. John's. And Eastern, they've lost 18 in a row. They've got a much more winnable game playing Wayne Memorial. Wayne Memorial's a team that's had long losing streaks recently as well. How do you see those two games?
Yeah, so Wayne Memorial's lone win last year was when they beat Eastern to start the season. But I think Wayne Memorial picks up the win here, even though Eastern has some experience back that they gained with some sophomores that were playing up last year. And then I like St. John's to start their season off with a win over Okemos. I know the St. John's team is hungry to be better as well, too. I mean, they were a few plays away in a couple of different games last year, and maybe those plays go another way. We're talking about them also being in the playoffs as well, too, last year. So I like St. John's. I like Wayne Memorial to pick up wins.
And finally, the game you're going to hear in just a few minutes, Mason and Holt, the game for the Cedar Street Trophy. It was 52-14 last year, Mason. I picked Mason, but I think it's going to be a heck of a lot closer. And Holt is very positive heading into the season with 20 starters back.
Yeah, no, Holt has a lot back, and they were a team that was very young last year and took their lumps. And I think Coach Chad Folks, expects a lot better from his team this year just because of the experience that they gained. And they've got some intriguing athletes as well, too. LaDon Hatcher is a guy that I remember from last year that kind of stood out to me from their team when I saw them play once or twice last year as well, too. But I think Mason finds a way to get it done even with the pieces that they lost from last year. And they still have a very talented quarterback in Kason Carr as well, who's going to be the best quarterback on the field most games that Mason plays. So I like Mason to find a way to get a win at home.
He's Brian Calloway, Prep Sports Editor of the Lansing State Journal. Brian, thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week when we review Week 1 and preview Week 2.
Hey, Brock. Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
And you're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage, the game 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network, brought to you by Dowding Industries.
Lansing Sports Station, the game 730 AM.
And good evening and welcome to Holt High School, Mike Smith Memorial Stadium on the campus of Holt High School. It's the opening night of the high school football season in the state of Michigan. We are here at Holt High School for the battle for the Cedar Street Trophy, Mason at Holt. I'm Brock Palmbos. Alongside me is Erik Doc Love. Erik, these longtime rivals have renewed their rivalry after not playing for a long time. And they played last year. Mason won it 52-14 on their way to Ford Field in the Division III Finals.
The Mason Bulldogs in the last 3 seasons have been the most successful squad in the mid-Michigan area, going 35-5. And yes, they made it to the finals last year in Division III, losing to Grand Rapids Forest Hill Central 27-10. They have reached 3 consecutive semifinals in Division III and have been fantastic in the last, even since 2019, going 52-7. during that stretch.
Their opponents are the Rams from Holt, coming off one of their worst seasons in many years, 2-7. But Coach Chad Fulk told me 10 starters back on offense and defense, and he's expecting much bigger things this season.
That's going to be the antithesis of what Mason has done with having lost 10 of their 11 starters on offense. Yes, the Rams and Coach Chad Folk returned 10 starters on offense because they played a bunch of sophomores and juniors last year. A lot of underclassmen for that Rams squad. You said going 2-7, only winning 2 ball games, losing that one to Mason 52-14 in week 1, which was a broken apart game, if you want to call it that, because of weather issues in week 1, where they started it on Friday and finished it Saturday afternoon. But yeah, in that loss for the Rams last year, less than 100 total yards of offense. They've gone 1-2 since they have renewed that rivalry.
Yep.
Like you said, they started 1988 had been the last time until a couple of seasons ago. They used to play each other all the time, but the Rams do hold the all-time at 21-13-3.
And it's a trophy game. The Cedar Street Trophy is on the line for these to the winner of this game tonight. Mason did win the toss, and they elected to receive. And we're going to be getting started here in just a moment or so. Best player on the field, he's coming back. Kason Carswell, the senior quarterback for Mason, who's headed to Western Illinois.
Yeah, Western Illinois commit, all-state honors from the Associated Press and from the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association. Last season, 32 passing touchdowns, also had 3 rushing, so 35 total touchdowns. Threw for almost 3,000 yards, 28-18. But it's him back, basically, on offense. And then a few guys that had played a little bit on the offensive side and defensive side for Coach Gary Houghton. It's a young squad, but guys that have gotten a lot of reps last year because there were a lot of ball games that were lopsided.
Yes.
They won a lot of games rather easily, and so some of those backups that normally wouldn't get a lot of reps, they got a lot of game wins last year. Caleb Vaughn, a senior running back / linebacker. Carson Chapin, a running back / free safety. He's a junior.
Colin Winters, the kicker. He's back.
Colin Winters, another big weapon for them. Logan Dorr, he's a senior, a linebacker / fullback. These guys that were part of the rotation of that game, the team last year. For the Rams, LaDon Hatcher at running back is a junior. You got Carter Herron, a senior offensive lineman / defensive lineman, a guy that plays both ways for Coach Chad Folk. Ethan Melville's out there as well. He's going to be the starting quarterback tonight, by the way. Ethan Melville, the junior. He played a little bit here and there at times last season. So inexperienced guys, a little bit more for Mason, as opposed to Holt, we had some guys that played a lot last year in times that, because, well, that's all was available.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Dowding Industries. Always interested in individuals that have the drive and desire to be successful in work and in life. Check them out at dowdingindustries.com. You may find a successful future here. Thanks to Jeff and Chris Metz for sponsoring us all season long. And the Lansing Sports Commission. They can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find details at lansingsports.org. We'll take a timeout and come back on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
East Lansing, a town square media station. Lansing sports leader. The game, 7:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Mike Smith Memorial Stadium on the campus of Holt High School. Let's try that in English. We're ready for this one here at Holt High School. See that table over there behind the north goalpost there? There's the Cedar Street Trophy right there. See that shiny thing right there?
I can see a little bit. Yes, I can.
Yes, that's the Cedar Street Trophy. That's what they're playing for tonight. I think I remember Coach Chad Folk telling me they found when Holt High School was moving to their new high school. They were doing some renovation at the new high school. They found it in just like a janitor's closet.
It was just kind of tucked away somewhere.
Tucked away in a storage place, and they found it, cleaned it up, shined it up, and now that they're playing Mason again, I love trophy games in high school, and this is one of the best.
I say this is Brock's favorite kind of game. It's the trophy game.
Yes.
You don't see as many of those in high school. It's more in the college area, obviously. You see a lot of college trophies, but in the high school level, yes, you don't see as many of them. It's nice to have one in this area, and one that we have mentioned before, the rivalry renewed between these two squads.
Mason won the coin toss, and they will receive something you don't see very often. Most teams defer to their decision to the second half, but Mason will receive the opening kickoff. They'll be going from right to left across your radio dial, from south to north. They will defend the south goal here in the first quarter. Holt will be kicking off from north to south. They'll be defending the north goal. They're in their home brown uniforms with gold trim, with gold numerals, gold trim, with brown helmets and the gold ram horns on each side. Just think Los Angeles Rams, except brown and gold.
Yes.
As far as Mason, they're in their road white uniforms with red numerals and blue trim, blue helmets with a white paw print. Think Clemson, except blue helmets with a red outline on the paw print.
82 Jack Fisher kicking off for Holt. Back for Mason, Hayden Hendrickson and Troy Peters.
Hendrickson, a transfer from Eaton Rapids, I was told earlier this week.
He wears number 0, and Peters wears 15.
Here we go.
Waiting for that referee whistle.
Fisher. 12 minutes are on the clock. Remember, 4 12-minute quarters in high school football. It's kind of always been that way. There's the whistle. Kick is high. It is short. It is taken by a number 12. That's Darius Ams, and he gets outside the 40-yard line. He took it right about the 35-yard line.
Number 12. Mason, run out of bounds.
Ams, one of the up-back guys, about, 10, 15 yards down the field. The kick was pooched up in the air and did not go very far, and Rams fortunate enough that there was somebody back to push Ams out of bounds because he got a nice little lane on that left side.
He did. Only got 8 yards out of that, out at his own 43-yard line, ball at the near hash. 4 seconds into this game, Brock Palmbush, Erik Love, glad you're joining us on Doubting Industries' presentation of high school football. Here on the game, 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network. Senior quarterback Kason Carswell, 6'4", 190. Caleb Vaughn, the running back, 5'10", 190. Next to him in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers, 2 right, 1 left. Fakes the handoff. Carswell rolls out to the left. Fakes, tries to get some yardage, and he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit. Aaron Zuski, number 9, a senior, was there. He had some help there, Doc. Kind of a busted play there. Holt had it defended pretty well, and Carswell got what he could get, which was no gain.
Yeah, about 0, maybe half a yard at most on that one. And he also lost the ball when he took off, too. He fumbled it and kind of was able to haul it back in. It could have been more of a disaster for the Rams, for the Bulldogs on that one. The left tackle on that side, pressure did not allow Kason Carswell any time to throw the ball.
Carswell on the gun. Gavin Van Kirk, number 26, 5'10", 180. Next to him in the gun. 4 wide receivers, 2 left, 2 left, 2 right. Now, on the jet sweep, number 0, Hayden Hendrickson around the right side. Over the 45 to the 47, maybe the 48-yard line far side. It's going to create 3rd and 5.
Going to the wide side of the field on that one. Hendrickson was the slot receiver on the left, the inside one. On Kason Carswell's left, he ran to the right, had a little bit of a block, was able to outgain someone from the Rams on that end, and picked up good yardage. Makes it, about 3rd and 5, maybe 3rd and 6 at most?
They only gave him 4.
Okay.
Only out to the 47. Thought he got to the 48 or even further. Carswell in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers, 1 to the right, 2 to the left. 3 to the left, actually. 4 wide receivers. Dropping to throw is Carswell. Rolling out to the right, trying to get away from the pressure. He's going to run for the first down. He gets it. They'll give him the first down.
Right of the line.
He got to the Holt 47, and as he went out of bounds, Doc, he reached the ball out just to make sure he got a good mark, and the officials correctly gave him a good mark to the Holt 46-yard line.
More pressure coming up the middle from Carswell, and he gets the snap, steps back, puts his foot down, and then sees these guys coming towards him, so he's got to take off and run. A dual threat guy, doesn't run as much as hasn't in the past, but he has that ability.
Carswell in the gun again. 4 wide receivers.
Hendrickson.
Hand off to Hendrickson. Nothing there. Absolutely nothing there. Number 9, Aaron was the first one there, but he had help.
Carl Flinton, a junior defensive linebacker, also in there making that play as they lose a yard.
Loss of 1, Doc, as you said. 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. We are scoreless. It's 2nd and 11.
We've seen some good pursuit and good angles taken from the Rams defensively so far. They've been able to get into the backfield pretty much every single play so far.
Good penetration, yeah. Carswell in the gun again. 4 wide receivers, but in a tight formation. They're tight to the line. Now man goes in motion. Carswell fakes, going to take it himself. Over the 45 to the 44. There's Zuski again, number 9. Gain of 3.
Yeah, Zuski making plays all over the place for this Rams defense so far. The senior's been in on pretty much every single tackle in this one. And a design quarterback draw up the middle that time. He fakes the handoff on the jet sweep motion guy and then goes off that right side to pick up a couple of yards. But another long third down opportunity for the Bulldogs.
Gain of 3 at the 44-yard line. Another third down here for Mason. They converted the last one they had. Carswell in the gun. Puts a man in motion, dropping straight back to throw. Trying to get away from pressure. Zuski again pressuring him, and Carswell gets way out of the pocket and just throws it away. There was absolutely nothing there. Man, so far, Holt defensive line winning.
Zuski coming in from his linebacker position on the middle linebacker blitz, causing Kason Carswell to get out of his pocket, roll out there, and had to just throw the ball away at the last second. So good field position for the Bulldogs to start, but the Rams defense holds them.
Carswell back to punt. Back at his own 44-yard line. Who's that back there for Holt?
I'm looking at the jersey. He's kind of turned to the side there.
8:41 to go. Mason trying to get lined up properly. Snap back to Carswell. Kick away, almost blocked. Good kick, but it's going to go into the end zone.
It was Michael Amory who was back there, but it didn't matter at this point.
47-yard punt, no return, 27 net, and now Holt's going to get the ball to start. 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Carswell couldn't quite drop it inside the 5-yard line.
They're looking for that pooch punt, trying to get it to roll out of bounds and push him back a little deeper, but you're right. It starts at the 20.
Holt Rams, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Mason, both teams confused. They were going to line up at the 15-yard line, and then the officials like, no, guys, we got to move up 5 yards. Hey, it's the first game for the players.
And the referees, too.
For some of these guys, their first varsity game. All right, here is Melville. He's going to drop, throws out to the left. It is caught, dropped, intercepted. Hang on.
I think it's Hendrickson.
Yes.
It is. Hayden Hendrickson.
Hayden Hendrickson on a tipped ball. The Holt receiver couldn't quite tell who that was. Might have been number 8, Manolo Williams. But Hendrickson does get the interception, and Mason's in business with 8:27 to go.
So first pass, little curl routes on the right side. 2 receivers out there for the quarterback, Ethan Melville, and the guy bobbled it. It got kind of tipped around, and there's Hayden Hendrickson making the pick.
I formation behind Carswell. Logan Dorr, the fullback. It looks like Vaughn, the tailback. Fake. Going to throw it deep. Carswell's got a man out there. Dropped. Far side. Double covered.
And Troy Peters, number 15, was the guy he was looking to throw to.
Had it been a perfect throw, it would have been a touchdown. Wasn't quite perfect. There was double coverage. It was pretty well covered.
Yes, the safety came over and helped out. LaDon Hatcher was the initial guy covering, and then the safety, Jamel Island, came over to help out.
8:20 to go first quarter. We are scoreless. Mason ball at the Holt 25-yard line. I formation behind Carswell. Handoff, Vaughn. Over the good hole there inside the 20, down to the 18, maybe the 19-yard line.
Zuski with another tackle.
Running the ball for Mason is Caleb Vaughn.
It's going to be 3rd down and about 4.
Number 3.
Now, Mason does have a good kicker in Colin Winters. He's a senior. Would be a 36, 37-yard field goal from here. They gain no yardage.
He made some good kicks for him last year around this range.
Depending on what happens here, they may go for a field goal here. Carswell in the gun, Vaughn next to him. 4 wide receivers, 2 left, 2 right. 7:39 to go first quarter. Carswell throws out to the right. It's caught. That's number 81, Sam Corey, and he's got a first down. That's just a short little 5-yard out. You needed 4, got 5 yards. He caught it, leaned forward, first down Mason.
Perfectly run. He's the slot guy. He just comes in. There's a guy on the outside who goes straight up a go route, and then the inside guy comes on in the out route, and you're right. And they move the chains. It's exactly what they were trying to do.
And defensively, Not much you can really do about that unless you completely overload that side of the field, and you don't want to do that.
No, it's a tough one.
Because then it's check. You can go to the left side.
Or unless you've got a shutdown corner over there,
right.
That's about it. If you have Will Johnson out there, you're okay.
Carswell in the gun again. Vaughn on his left. 4 wide receivers. 2 left, 2 right. Carswell dropping, throws it out to the left. It's caught at the 13-12 yard line. That's number 4, Frankie Trigo, inside the 10 to the 7 yard line. Tackled there. It's going to be second and short. Second and about 4.
That pass is caught by Frankie Trigo.
6:50 to go first quarter. Still scoreless, but Mason is driving after the Hayden Hendrickson interception.
A little option route out there to that left side, and it really depends on where the corner was at. He ran a quick little slant to get open on that.
Ball on the left hash or the near hash from where we are. I formation behind Carswell. Vaughn deep in the I. Handoff. Vaughn. Nothing there.
Nope.
Absolutely nothing there. Great penetration by number 17, Cooper Benson.
I saw the linebacker creeping up, and right before the snap, he timed it perfectly to get into the backfield.
Ball back to the 8 yard line.
Lost a yard?
Yeah, lost a yard. So it'll be third down and about 5. Yeah, we'll call it 3rd and 5 from the 8. They got to get to about they really got to get inside the 4. It's really a short 5. Carswell in the gun. Vaughn next to him, near side. Rolling out to the right is Carswell. He's going to throw it out to the right. It is caught. Touchdown. Touchdown, Mason. Luke Goss. Whoa, we were in stereo there. Carswell to Luke Goss for a 8-yard touchdown. And it's 6-0 Mason.
Nice little out route. Again, working the outs on that one. The slot receiver on the right side. Puts his foot in, goes out to the outside. Nice throw by Carswell on the roll. Caleb Vaughn with a key block to allow Carswell the time to throw it.
Colin Winters on for the extra point. Everybody getting settled here. Snap is good. Placement down. Kick up. And it's good. Looked like just got inside the left upright. And so, with 5:40 to go in the first quarter of play, it's Mason 7, Holt nothing. We'll take a timeout and come back here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
WVFN.
Palmbos, Erik, Love, Mason High School leading Holt 7-0. They cashed in an interception by Hayden Hendrickson. And Kason Carswell throws his first touchdown pass of his senior season on a little 8-yard out route to wide receiver Luke Goss. Colin Winters hit the extra point. It's 7-0 Mason. Just over halfway through the first quarter. Winters going to kick off, going from right to left. Here's the kick. It is high. Taken inside the 5-yard line. It's fumbled there. Out to the 5. To the 10. Now going backwards is number 10. That's Jasavion Taylor. And he's tackled inside the 5-yard line. He tried to reverse field. And, Doc, that didn't work. And now Holt is in deep trouble at their own 2-yard line.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where never run backwards when you have a kick return like that. You said he had trouble with picking it up, dropped it, got it. And then started running right and decided, I'm going to go left. Not a good idea.
The officials are going to be generous and give him the 3-yard line. Well, let's see if Holt can do better on this drive than they did the last drive, because that last drive lasted 1 play and it was an interception on a bobbled pass. Ethan Melville in the shotgun. Offset eye to the right. Here's a handoff to the running back.
It's Hatcher.
LaDon Hatcher, a junior on this team, number 5. He gets out to the 5-yard line, so a gain of 2.
The ball carrier brought down by number 15.
They had a fullback and an H-back out there on that play, trying to lead 4 to the right.
Yep, Troy Peters, the tackle for Mason. 5:04 and counting, first quarter. 7-0 Mason. Melville in the gun again. 2 wide receivers left. Low snap. Handoff again to Hatcher. He gets out over the 5 to the 7, maybe the 8. And now it's going to be about 3rd and 5. Looked like number 77, Rory Went, was in on the tackle. And that's a big, he's a big boy. 6'7", 285 listed.
One of the defensive tackles out there for the Bulldogs. Pretty similar play to the last one. They just ran to the opposite side. And now an H-back as the quarterback goes under center.
Offset I behind Melville. Fake handoff, falling out to the right is Melville. He throws it out to the right, and it's almost intercepted. Logan Dorr almost intercepted it. The middle linebacker, he dropped into coverage, Doc, and he was closer to the ball than the receiver was.
Yeah, a little zone coverage out there as the linebacker drops back into his little area. And the quarterback, Melville, looking out to the right side. I think he was looking for number 8, Manolo Williams, a junior.
He was.
But the linebacker Dorr was in a better situation for that play.
And that's Melville going to punt. Oh, so both quarterbacks punting.
You see that a little bit more often these days. Back for Mason, number 10, Wyatt Ball.
He's standing at the Holt 40-yard line. Snap is good. Kick is away. It's not very good. And a fair catch called for and caught by number 10, Wyatt Ball.
35. So and positive territory to start this drive.
35-yard line, so that's 28 yards on the punt. 1st and 10, Mason at the Holt 35-yard line. Holt really needed to get a first down there, Doc.
They did, yeah. They needed to get a little bit more breathing room out of that one and try and flip the field just a tad bit. But it did not work out. They got 5 yards on their first 2 plays, and then the incomplete pass, and the punt was a little bit of a high hanger and didn't have too much distance to it.
4:05 to go, first quarter. Mason 7, Holt nothing in this battle for the Cedar Street Trophy. Carswell under center, Caleb Vaughn deep. Is he going to go under center or is it the pistol formation?
Nope,
He's going to go under center. Single back behind him, and that's Vaughn. Faked handoff to Vaughn. Looking to throw. Throwing deep down the middle. This is going to get picked off.
Yep.
Number 1, Michael Amory playing center field, Doc. And he intercepts it at his own 3-yard line.
Play action pass, fakes the handoff to Caleb Vaughn. One receiver on the left running that the inside post route. The corner had decent coverage, but the safety back there doing his job, getting ready, watching the quarterback and picking it off. You like the shot attempt on that.
I don't mind the aggressiveness at all.
Yeah, not one bit. You know, you're starting at the 35-yard line. You just hope that the quarterback makes a little bit better pass, or you hope that the safety's out of position.
Melville, hands off up the middle. Out to the 8, maybe the 9.
Hatcher again.
Was that Hatcher again?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was. He gets out to the 9-yard line, so a good gain there on first down.
Stop by number 10, Wyatt Ball.
Wyatt Ball.
For Mason. 2nd down and 4.
Number 10 for Mason.
For the Rams.
Good gain there for the Rams. They're going to give him, they officially give him 6.
Yep.
3:28 to go first quarter. Holt trailing Mason 7-0. Melville in the gun. Handoff again to Hatcher. Out over the 10 to the 13. He's taken down there. Number 81, Sam Corey. But a good gain out to the 13-yard line, and it's going to create a 3rd and about 1.
Picked up 3, almost 4. Nearly got to the sticks on that one. Hatcher, diminutive running back out there, and can hide behind the lineman a little bit more. He's got that burst of speed, and nearly broke away to pick up the first.
1 wide receiver left, but a tight formation behind him. Inverted wishbone behind Melville. Handoff Hatcher. He's going to get the first down. He's going to get forward progress. He's pushed back by a slew of defenders, including Caleb Vaughn, but he got over the 15-yard line. Good officiating there. They clearly saw the forward progress, and a very important first down for the Holt Rams.
First down of the game for them, and helps keep things alive and try and get out of the shadow of their own goalpost here.
Tell you what, that interception by Michael Amory may turn out to be a big play in this game, depending on what happens later. Something we can point to later.
Well, a 14-0 lead, a little bit more difficult to come back than a 7-0 lead, that's for sure.
3 wide receivers, a wing back on the right. Williams goes in motion to the left. Handoff, Hatcher out of the gun. Not much there, but he's going to push forward, and he gets a nice gain out of it, gets 4 yards out of it. And that's 77. Rory went in on the tackle. Go ahead.
A little extra help from his offensive lineman, keeping him up and keeping him going forward, but he did churn those feet. Had a Bulldog hanging on his back.
Out to the 19-yard line. First game for the scorekeepers as well. A little bit behind right now.
Yep.
Understandable. Not criticizing.
2 H-backs.
2 H-backs. Shotgun formation. Melville, he's going to take... No, that's number 1. That's Michael Amory, and he's got nothing. And now a fumble. No, it's not a fumble. Amory kept going. Yep. I thought he was going to get taken down by the line of scrimmage, and I was already getting ready to call who got the tackle. But he kept going. He got over the 20 to the 23-yard line.
A little wildcat formation from that one. H-back and a running back.
That was a weird formation. Not really single wing, but yeah, more wildcat, I guess. Or wild hog, they used to call it back in the day with Darren McFadden at Arkansas. Inverted wishbone behind Melville. They hand off to Hatcher out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. And it's going to be a first down. 48 seconds to go in the first quarter. Mason up 7-0. And Holt just trying to grind it out right now.
Doing a good job. A team that struggled to score last year for Coach Chad Falk. In their final 5 games, they scored 7 points or fewer in those. Yep. So a very young team. We talked about that earlier, and they're trying to change things here this season.
Inverted wishbone again behind Melville. Under 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Handoff. That's Hatcher again going left. Not much there. Still pushing, and I think he's going to get 1, maybe 2 out of it.
Dorr, one of those guys making the stop for the Rams.
Give him the 29-yard line, a gain of 2, and we're down to 12 seconds to go in the quarter. This might be the last play of the quarter. We're down to 5. That's going to be the last play of the quarter. We've reached the end of 12 minutes of play. The Mason Bulldogs cashed in an interception for a touchdown. A Kason Carswell to Luke Goss 8-yard touchdown pass has given Mason the 7-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. Come on back for the second. Here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN, high school football, brought to you by Dowding Industries and the Lansing Sports Commission. We're also part of the Lansing Sports Network.
WVFN.
Palmbos and Erik back here at Holt High School. Mason leading 7-0 on a Kason Carswell 8-yard touchdown pass to Luke Goss. Getting a few scores here. Our good buddy Tim Stout telling me East Lansing leading Portage Central 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. And Erik, by far, coming into the season, it's been talked about all summer. East Lansing, the best team, returning, at least on paper, coming into the season with almost everybody back from a state semifinal appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. East Lansing, one of the favorites, obviously probably the favorite in the blue, along with DeWitt, obviously being a contender as well in that CAAC blue.
And they'll play a little bit later on in the season. Got a feeling we're going to be there for that one. Team switch ends. Ball is on the 29-yard line. Ethan Melville in the gun. LaDon Hatcher next to him. Hatcher gets the handoff, gets to the 30, and that's about it. He's dragged down there. Number 7, Owen Attaway. And number 9, Joey Schild. Gain of 1. They do give him 1, so it'll be a 3rd and about 7. Early stages, second quarter. Coming up at halftime, we'll have This Week in High School Sports, plus halftime stats and analysis, and whatever scores we can find from the Twitterverse. Wildcat formation, Michael Amory next to Melville in the gun. Well, it's actually shotgun formation. Fake. Here's Melville. Now he's going to break out and run. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. He's into Mason territory and knocked out of bounds by Hayden Hendrickson, and they do a little jaw in there. But a big gain there for Ethan Melville, out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
There is some laundry on the field. Our first yellow flag of this ball game. Let's see what it is.
Wow, it took to the second quarter to get our first flag of the season. That's pretty good.
It is, actually. Usually you get a lot of them in that first quarter. This might get wiped out. It was a gain of...
Legal block.
Yep. It's going to come back. This was a gain of 30. This flag comes at about the, 48, 47?
40, yeah. At the whole 47, yep. So if it's 10 yards back from there, and it looks like they're going to.
It's not going to be a first down.
So it's going to create about a third and...
It does get a first down, just barely.
It does give them a first down, okay.
Ends up being, like a 7-yard gain, basically?
So it will be a first down anyway. It is a spot foul. So out to the 38-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10 for Holt.
It wipes out a 30-yard run,
right.
But nevertheless, it's still a first down for the Rams.
11:05 to go, first half. Brock Palmbush, Erik Doklev, glad you're joining us on Doubting Industries' presentation of high school football. Inverted wishbone behind Melville. Handoff, that's Hatcher. Up the middle to the 44-yard line. Good gain there.
Look like Hayden Hendrickson, one of the guys making the stop for the Bulldogs up the middle.
To the 43-yard line, really. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Just the kind of drive Holt was looking for after the turnover. Started it inside their own 5-yard line. Even though they're not quite to midfield yet, at the very least, they flipped the field.
Yes. And this is more of their style of offense, too, is kind of grind it down on the ground.
Everybody trying to get lined up properly. Understandable in the first game of the season. We've seen it a lot already. Guys out of position. Hatcher, now a reverse. It's number 10. It's Jasavion Taylor. He's into Mason territory, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Front side reverse by Holt, and Jasavion Taylor atones for his error on the kickoff. And he takes it into Mason territory to the 36-yard line.
21 yards on that reverse play. The handoff to Hatcher goes right. Taylor comes back from that right side to the left and had a nice little block on the outside. Some speed to get out there towards his own sideline and move the chains. And now they're in enemy territory for the first time, or at least Bulldog territory, I should say.
I formation behind Melville. Hatcher, the deep back in the I. 2 wide receivers. Pro set offense, really. Fake handoff, play action pass. Now a flip pass, and it is caught. Inside the 20, inside the 15, inside the 10, to the 5. Just short of the goal line.
Manola Williams.
Number 8. They mark him out of bounds at the 1-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and goal.
35 yards through the air on that one. There were two Rams.
Just a little flip pass by Melville, but it was effective.
Play action pass. He rolls out to the right. There were 2 Rams in the area, and the guy underneath almost caught the ball instead of Williams, and it might have been tackled right there. Would have moved the chains, but nevertheless, it wouldn't have been that 35-yard play.
First and goal from the 1. 9:42 to go, first half. Melville, inverted wishbone. Oh, it's a power set, power I formation for Holt. Handoff, Vaughn. Or a Hatcher, rather. He slipped and fell down at the 3-yard line.
Actually, that was number 1. That was Michael Amory.
Oh, that was Amory? Okay.
But, yeah, he tried to make a cut and go to the left, and the turf monster, the grass monster, whatever you want to call him, reached up and grabbed his ankle.
9:15 to go. First half.
Lose a couple yards on that play.
You got to think it's going to be 4-down territory here. Barring a major loss.
Yep. Amory remains in there at running back.
Inverted wishbone. Yeah, 2 H-backs. Amory deep. Wide receiver to the left. Melville. Hands off to Amory. Gets to the 3, gets to the 2. Close to the goal line. We're going to wait and see. No, he's short.
And got those lost yards back.
3rd and goal from just inside the 1. He's got about 2 feet to go. Literally.
Yep. LaDon Hatcher comes back in.
Amory's going to stay in.
Oh, he was going to sub out, and then they sent him back out there.
They may have both of them in there.
I think it's Wishbone again. Or, excuse me, it's a Wildcat again, because Amory's going to line up a quarterback with Hatcher next to him.
It's exactly what's happening with 8:16, 8:15 to go in the first half. Mason up 7-0, but Holt driving to try to tie the game. Oh, we got a whistle. We got a flag.
The right guard pulled a little bit too early for the Rams.
Could they have been drawn off by the defense? That's what Holt's saying.
Okay. Well, referees are discussing this. I did see the guard pull early, but was it because of the defense? Did the defense cause him to?
Yes.
It is. Oh, wow. So it is on the Bulldogs defensively.
Officially, that's 1 penalty for 1 yard. But it moves it up, 1 foot?
Basically,
they're literally
yes.
at the. They always say, "Oh, the 1 foot line." They are at the 1 foot line now, and you got to think 2 downs to make this.
And now Melville
tight
comes in.
formation. Melville sneaking, and he's in. We're waiting for the official word, but it is, and we got it now. Touchdown, Holt, Ethan Melville. They just had everybody in a tight formation, Doc. And he just snuck it in.
A little bit of extra push from the back from LaDon Hatcher.
Which is legal.
To make it happen.
And it's a 1-yard touchdown.
Yes.
And it's 7-6 in favor of Mason. Number 82 for Holt. Jack Fisher on to kick the extra point that could tie the game. High snap, down, kick on the way. Kick is good. And so, with 7:52 to go in the second quarter, we have a tie ball game. It's Holt 7, Mason 7. We'll take a 30-second break and come back on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
WVFN Lansing Sports Leader.
We got a ball game here at Mike Smith Memorial Stadium. It's Mason 7, Holt 7. As Ethan Melville snuck it in from 1 yard out. Extra point good. We're tied at 7. 7:52 to go in the first half.
98-yard drive.
And both teams threw out an interception. The other team has cashed it in for a touchdown. Another high and short kick taken by Mason at the 24-yard line, out to the 30, to the 33, 35-yard line. That's number 13, Carson Chapin. He gets it out to the 36-yard line, so good field position for Mason. Jamel Island, number 3, in on the tackle, but good field position for Mason. Plenty of time. 7:45 to go in the half. And all 3 timeouts. Remember, even though quarters are only 12 minutes long, each team does get 3 timeouts per quarter, just like every other level of football. You know, back in the old days, back when we were little kids and even younger than that, college teams would get 4 timeouts per quarter, or per half.
Yeah.
Rather. But with television and the natural timeouts that occur there, not so much. So they reduced it. Carswell in the gun. Jet sweep handoff. That's 15. That's Troy Peters around the left side. Gets out over the 40 far side. 41, maybe the 42-yard line.
Carrying the ball for the Bulldogs. Troy Peters, number 15.
Caleb Vaughn out there leading the charge on that jet sweep.
Gain of 5. 2nd and 5.
Getting to the outside, trying to test the corners and the outside linebackers of the Rams, see if they got enough speed.
7:09 to go. I formation behind Carswell. Logan Dorr, the fullback. Caleb Vaughn, the running back.
Chapin is the
running Chapin. Back. Oh, yeah, there he is. And he's got a first down. He's into Holt territory, inside the 50, inside the 40. Taken down inside the 35-yard line. Tackled there by Michael Amory, but a big gain for Mason.
Number 13, Carson Chapin, carries the ball for the Bulldogs.
Down to the 34-yard line, Doc.
Yep. Huge run out there. Chapin goes to the outside, and they're kind of, like I said, they're testing the outside of that Ram defense.
I formation again behind Carswell. Maybe Coach Colton and the coaching staff right next to us here in the booth seeing something and deciding to go I formation. 6:36 to go, first half. We're tied at 7.
25 yards on that run.
Handoff, Dorr gets a rare carry. Not much there, but he's going to push forward and get close to the 30-yard line. They'll mark him at the 31, maybe 32, maybe the 31. Not much there. Logan Dorr rarely carries the ball. He's mainly a blocker.
Halfback dive, or excuse me, fullback dive. What, 2 yards on that play?
Yep. He's a fine fullback, but his best position is linebacker on defense. They're going to give him 2, maybe 3 on that one. 6 minutes left in the first half. Shade covering majority of the field here at Mike Smith Memorial Stadium. That's a relief to everybody. At least that's down on the field right now and on the sidelines. Carswell in the gun. Dropping to throw. Screen pass out to the right. That's Hendrickson. 35. Oh, nice tackle at the 32-yard line by Michael Amory. And he and Hendrickson have been doing some talking tonight so far.
And he keeps that to a 0-yard gain.
It's going to be 3rd down and 7. Nice play design, but a really good tackle there by Amory.
Short screen, swing pass, whatever you want to call it out there to that right side. And yeah, it's up. That's what it is. It's a one-on-one situation where who's going to make a play? Is the running back or whoever catches the ball going to get it, or is it going to be the defender?
Matt Millen used to call that's just good football. Good offense, but better defense on that play. Carswell rolling out to the left. He's getting pursued. Now he throws it out to the left. It's caught. No, dropped by Luke Goss, number 2, who caught the touchdown pass. Had it for just a split second, but dropped it, and now it's going to be 4th and long.
He was worried about the sideline. He was worried about keeping his feet in and catching the ball at the same time. It was a difficult play of the ball, it was a difficult throw for a Carswell, who put it right on the money where it needed to be to move the chains. But like I said, the receiver tried to catch it and drag his feet at the same time. He just couldn't do both.
4th down and 8. They gave Dorr 2 on that carry on the
first down play.
On the first down play, yeah.
They're going to line up to go for it.
They're lining up. It would have been a 50-yard field goal, but they're not going to do that. They're going to go for it, at least line up to go for it. Here's Carswell throwing, slant pass, caught. Number 81, Sam Corey. Just a simple slant pass or a post pattern. Big gain there. Gain of 12. Needed 8, got 12. First down, Mason.
They faked the receiver or the running back screen out to that left side. The defense kind of reacted to Caleb Vaughn going in motion out there, and that opened up a space out there for that deep slant route, and the catch by Sam Corey.
Huge first down there. Keeps the drive going for Mason. 4:36 and counting, first half. Carswell in the gun, Vaughn next to him. 3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 right. Carswell, jet sweep handoff, Logan Dorr, tackled in the backfield. Carl Flinton, number 11, smelled it out.
Right away.
And it's a big-time loss.
They lost 5 yards on that play. Flinton ready for it.
5-yard loss, back to the 25. It's going to be 2nd and 15. 4:02 and counting.
How about a jet sweep to your fullback on that one? The Rams knew that was coming because Carswell made adjustments to the wide receivers on the left side. They both came in real tight out there, but it didn't matter at that point.
That's where film work or research or, that proper preparation helped defend that play. Here's Carswell in the gun again. Dropping straight back to throw. Trying to get away from a couple of defenders. He does get away, now throws it out to the right. It's caught. Down to the 14-yard line. That's Talon Gardner.
Is caught by number 11, Alan Gardner.
About the escapability of Kason Carswell.
He had two guys bearing down on him, and he did a nice job of getting away and at least getting something out of it. Gardner could have got more out of it, but he lost his footing, and it's going to be third down and about 3 or 4.
So he picked up, 11 yards on that play?
They give him down to the 13-yard line.
12 yards on that play.
3 minutes to go in the first half.
Nearly a sack that would have cost him more yardage, too.
Carswell in the gun, Logan Dorr next to him. 3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 right. Carswell in the gun. Now he's going to take it himself. Gets inside the 10. Gets inside the 5, down to the 3, first down.
Called his number.
Ethan Melville, the opposite quarterback, makes the tackle at free safety. First and goal at the 3-yard line for Mason.
10-yard QB draw. That's the third time that Kason Carswell has called his own number on that play. Logan Dorr leading on that, doing his fullback job, like you said.
2:28 to go. Great response drive by Mason. They had a 4th and long conversion, which they made. Give them credit. Now they go I formation. Dorr, the fullback. Vaughn, the tailback. Handoff. Vaughn, whistle, flag.
Yep, false start.
Second penalty on Mason.
It is a false start on Mason, backing them up 5 yards. Still first down.
2:11 to go in the first half. Both teams with all 3 timeouts left, and pretty refreshing, Doc. We expected more penalties than this. Only 2 on Mason, 1 for Holt.
Yeah, it's been a clean ball game. A lot of times week 1, you see a lot of issues. You get false starts, you get holdings, you get whatever it may be, but been a clean ball game so far, knock on wood.
I hope we didn't jinx them.
I just knocked on wood.
I hope we didn't jinx them. Under 2 minutes to go. Kason Carswell not sure what play they're going to run. May have to call a timeout.
Better hurry. 2, 1.
They get the play off. Carswell rolling out to the left out of the shotgun. He throws out to the left. It is caught. Touchdown.
Z-route.
Frankie Trigo. 7-yard touchdown.
Ran the Z-route. Defender fell down.
Explain the Z-route to people.
It makes a Z, actually. He's a slot guy on the inside, comes back in a little bit, and then shoots back out to the outside to make a Z formation. And like I said, the defender fell down for the Rams, and that allowed the receiver to get wide open.
Still had to die for it. Was not a perfect throw.
It wasn't. Carswell was rolling out to his opposite shoulder, his left. He's a righty.
Colin Winters on for the extra point. Kick up, kick, good. And so, with 1:37 to go in the first half of play, Mason takes the lead, 14-7. We'll take our last break of the half and come back here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN, brought to you by the Lansing Sports Commission and by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries.
Lansing Sports Leader, WVFN.
Brock Palmbush, Erik, Doc Love, here at Holt High School, Michael Smith Memorial Stadium. Mason has just scored. Kason Carswell, his second touchdown pass of the game on a Z route, as Erik said, to wide receiver Frankie Trigo. 7 yards, extra point good, 14-7 Mason. Now, if you're Holt, you got all 3 timeouts, minute 37, but you can't just go into a running formation and grind the clock here.
No, not at all.
Holt will get the ball to start the second half, by the way. Here is the kickoff. Taken inside the 10, out over the 10, the 15, the 20, 25. Out of bounds there. Jasavion Taylor taking it back at their own 25-yard line. Both teams have all 3 timeouts left, a minute 29 left in the first half. We'll have This Week in High School Sports coming up. Halftime stats and analysis, and we'll get as many scores as we possibly can via the Twitterverse.
We already have a final in the area because a couple schools play earlier in the day.
From Archie Ross Stadium, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that after this play. 1st and 10. Melville in the gun. Hatcher next to him in the gun. 3 wide receivers, 2 right, 1 left. Melville dropping to throw. Little screen pass. There's nothing there. That's just Savion Taylor. He's taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Pursuit defensively.
Almost that they knew it was coming.
Well, you said film and scouting, right?
Now, if you're Mason here, you might think about calling a timeout and saving time. You got all 3 timeouts here.
They lost 2 yards on that play, by the way.
We're down to a minute to go. I'm a little surprised Mason didn't call a timeout there.
Maybe it depends on what happens on this play.
Maybe? Okay. Maybe at least force them to punt. Down to 50 seconds to go. Melville in the gun. Dropping to throw. Fakes the throw, sacked. Inside the 20, down to the 15.
They did. They just called a timeout.
And now Mason calls their timeout. No, they don't. It's still going.
Well, they did call the timeout, but the clock is still rolling.
And now the whistles are going to blow, and I think you're going to have a clock adjustment here. Mason calls their first timeout. They have 2 remaining. 31 seconds are on the clock, but I think the officials are going to confer about the clock.
Yeah, they're going to have to talk about it.
Okay, Doc, give us the score for Sexton Everett.
Sorry.
I'm assuming that's the game that is over with.
Yes, final. Everett 28, Sexton nothing. Vikings win
Final?
Yes. Vikings win opener over Sexton for the first time since 2021. So 28-0.
Congratulations to Jaleel Canny, the 4th-year coach, the former Everett alum. Huge home win there over a city rival.
First time in 3 seasons they had won an opening game.
Made the playoffs last year, 5-5, got beat in the first round. Played with East Lansing for a half, and then East Lansing blew them out in the second half on that hot night, remember, in late October.
Yep.
And Canny's got that program headed in the right direction. Great win for them.
That's our only final so far because they started at 5 o'clock.
Yep. And the officials are trying to get the attention of the scorekeepers to get the clock fixed. And they're not going to restart this game until that is fixed.
Yeah, it should be more than 31 seconds. There should be 45 maybe? At least somewhere right around there.
Both teams have already gone over to their benches for a water break, which is smart.
Yep. Warm, humid. 42 seconds.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
That's right around.
Yep.
I said 45, so right around there.
That's fair. Absolutely. 3rd and 17. Ethan Melville in the gun. Hatcher next to him. Melville hands off to Hatcher. Not much there. Small gain out to the 19-yard line and pushed back. And now Mason's going to call a timeout.
John Hatcher carries the ball.
Well, with the way Carswell can throw the ball, he doesn't need much time.
Nope.
35 seconds to go. Mason calls their second timeout.
Gives them a chance to set things up.
And Mason might want to save that timeout for a field goal attempt.
That's what I'm thinking. You know, if after this play, obviously the clock will stop as a change of possession. And then if they can pick up a first down, it'll stop shortly for them there. Or if they get out of bounds.
Depending on the punt, of course.
Been a good first half battle. A couple of turnovers, but the teams capitalized on them.
Absolutely. Points off turnovers, 7 for each team.
Yep. Most of the time you'll see teams get a turnover and then they just don't capitalize on it like they should.
Oh, I see what they're going to do with the Cedar Street Trophy, Doc. Whoever wins this game, they're going to run over and grab that trophy on the track behind the north goalpost.
That's why it's just sitting on the table there,
right? Sitting on the table, and whoever wins this game is going to go run and claim it. Nice.
Got plenty of game, though.
Oh, long way to go. 4th and 15. Ethan Melville's going to punt. Who's back there for Mason?
That's Wyatt Ball, number 10.
There we go. He's standing on his own 40-yard line.
Last punt was about, 28 yards?
Yep. Gets this away. It's low. Low bouncer. Taken by Ball at the 43. Gets away from a defender to the 45. Close to midfield. Now he gets over midfield.
And a flag.
To the 49-yard line. Great. And we got a flag.
This might add on.
23 seconds to go.
Flag right where Ball was tackled. Came on fairly late in the play. I'm guessing face mask?
Personal foul. Face mask.
So
Holt.
Take it even further into Rams territory.
15-yard penalty.
15 yards from the 50. Takes it to the 35.
23 seconds to go. 1 timeout left. And remember, the clock stops on first downs.
And obviously out of bounds.
A rule that's been changed in college football just in recent years. $23 to go. First half. Mason up 14-7, but in great field position to potentially get a field goal. Well, of course, they'll try for a touchdown, but they've got a good field goal kicker in Colin Winters. He's hit both of his extra points tonight. Carswell in the gun. Caleb Vaughn next to him at his own 40-yard line. 1st and 10 from the Holt 35. Low snap. Rolling out to the right is Carswell. He's going to throw it high and deep, and it is, just over the fingertips of Luke Goss. Incomplete. 2nd down.
Great throw by Carswell on the move. And Ghost just couldn't quite haul it in right between his fingertips.
And apparently it is Goss, not Goss. It
yeah.
says his last name is spelled Goss. So I figured Goss, not knowing who it. We've never seen these guys before.
Nope.
Not these.
Not this year's roster.
Not this year's. Thank you. Yes. Goss. Luke Goss.
I've heard it both ways.
2nd down and 10 from the Holt 35. Carswell in the gun. 4 wide receivers dropping straight back to throw out of the gun. Rolling out to the right. Feeling pressure. He's going to stop. Spade back. Now he's going to throw, and it is caught inside the 30, inside the 25. Caleb Vaughn, 20, 15, down to the 12-yard line. 2 seconds to go, 1 second to go, and I think Mason's going to call a timeout. And they'll kick a field goal.
That was some crazy plays. They nearly used up all the clock.
With 1 play to go.
25 yards on that play. Carswell rolled out to the right. Didn't see anybody deep. Good coverage in the secondary by the Rams. Tried to go underneath. Nope, didn't see it. Went to a spot. I thought a defender for Holt was going to wrap him up right there. Spun away. And for the Rams, and for the Bulldogs, they're lucky the offensive linemen were not working their way down the field, because you get a lineman downfield, and that brings that play back.
14-7, East Lansing over Portage Central. 2nd quarter.
What a play by Caleb Vaughn. And just barely with 1 second left. Now, do you automatically kick the field goal here, Brock, or do you?
I would.
Or do you go for the touchdown?
I would kick the field goal here.
Okay. Here he comes. Colin Winters.
He's going to kick it from the left hash. 28-yard field goal. 28-yard field goal.
Maybe 29. The ball snapped from the 11. It says 10 on the scoreboard, but it's from the 11, actually.
Looks like it's about a 28-yard field goal from the left hash. Here's Winters.
And offsides. Nope.
No, they didn't call it.
Wow.
Good snap. Kick away. It's long enough.
Now there's a flag.
And it's good, but there is a flag.
Field goal is good. By number 10, Wyatt Ball.
He says 10, but it was 80. Colin Winters. We'll see the flag. The referee put his arms up. Field goal was good.
As time expired.
No, illegal formation.
Oh, illegal formation.
They got to do it again.
And they will. Free kick.
They're going to have to try this again.
Replay down.
So it'll be about a 33-yard field goal.
Come back a couple more yards, 5 more yards.
33 yards. Third penalty of the game on Mason. Ball on the left hash. No time left on the clock. Here's a kick. It's a low kick, but he gets it up and gets it through.
Right through the middle. A little more difficult from the 5 yards out, but still true.
33-yard field goal as time ran out here in the first half.
Is the visiting Mason Bulldogs 17, Holt Rams 7.
And after 24 minutes of play, it's Mason 17, Holt 7. Before we take a break, I want to let you know you're listening to the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing, a Town Square media station. We are your trusted source for high school sports coverage and the Lansing Sports Network. That does it for the first half of play. Good first half so far. And Mason leads it 17-7. We'll have halftime stats and analysis coming up in this halftime break. But first, it's another edition of This Week in High School Sports with John Ross.
MHSAA athletes come back from Paris with medals and a celebration a century in the making. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Welcome back to another school year and another season of highlighting stories from across the state. The 2024-25 school year is a special one here at the MHSAA. It is our 100th year, a century of celebrating school sports. All year long, we'll highlight the people, places, and things that have helped shape the MHSAA. Rivalries, records, top players, we'll look back at it all, both at MHSAA.com and on our social media pages. For example, on August 26, 2017, Dylan Gordon had a 99-yard run for North Farmington, tied for the longest in MHSAA history. On August 29, 2003, Ben Baragray of Gaylord had 7 quarterback sacks in a game against Ogama Heights. And on August 30th, 2010, the highest scoring tied soccer game happened twice. Berrien Springs and Buchanan tied at 6, as did Coloma and Cassopolis. Every day this school year, we'll highlight records from the past 100 years. And each Friday is Photo Friday. We'll be showing off historical photos from our files. And every week we'll be highlighting something that has helped make the MHSAA what it is today. So check us out online and on social to see how we're celebrating a century of high school sports. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. Traverse City St. Francis's Grace Slocum, she shot a 2-under 142 to win the Bob Lober Classic by a whopping 14 strokes. Bay City John Glenn's Trent Phillips, he netted the game winner in a 1-0 victory over Bay City Western in the Bay County Boys Soccer Championship. Earlier in the day, Phillips scored his first career goal. And at Jennison's Seth Connor, the senior was the fastest at the Benzie Pete Moss Invite. Jennison was also the best cross-country team in the Big School Boys Division.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Director of Officiating Services, Sam Davis.
In football, it's often said that holding happens on every play. But does it? When an offensive player uses their hands or arms to illegally restrain a defensive player, that's holding. This typically happens when blockers grab or pull defensive players away from their path, impeding their ability to make a play. The penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. Defensive players can be flagged for holding as well. That's also a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down for the offense. An example of defensive holding is when a cornerback grabs a receiver to slow him down before the ball is thrown. If that same contact happens while the pass is in the air, then it's pass interference. Defensive pass interference is a 15-yard penalty.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. The MHSAA was well represented at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. 15 athletes who played an MHSAA sport participated, with 3 bringing home a medal. Grand Blanc's Grant Fisher earned 2 bronze medals in the 5,000 and 10,000 meter races. He's the first American to medal in both events at the same Olympics. Caledonia's Elena Olsen was on the bronze medal-winning women's rugby team. And Devin Booker, who played basketball at Granville his freshman year, was on the gold medal-winning men's basketball team. Heath Baldwin, Adam Kuhn, Freddie Crittenden, Aaron Cummings, Andrew Evans, Hobbs Kessler, Grace Stark, and Abby Tamer were all also in London for Team USA. 4 other countries were represented by an MHSAA athlete. Cindy Ophelia Sember ran for Great Britain. Miles Amin wrestled for San Marino. Alex Rose threw the discus for Samoa. And Udodi Anwuzurike ran for Nigeria. Congrats to all who qualified, and we hope to see even more familiar faces at the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll be back next week.
Brock Palmbush, Erik Docklove back here at Holt High School. 17-7 Mason leading Holt after 24 minutes of play. Tonight's broadcast, and not only tonight but all season long, brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries. If you're wondering what your future holds and you're not going to college, you found out college just isn't for you, check out the future that skilled trades can offer you. You'll be surprised. Check them out at dowdingindustries.com. And by Megan Seymour and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission. No matter the sport, the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find details at lansingsports.org. Before we get to scores from around the mid-Michigan area, we have one final score already. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. Let's get to the scoring summary first. Mason got the lead first as they cashed in a Hayden Hendrickson interception on Holt's first play from scrimmage. Cason Carswell threw to Luke Gose on an 8-yard touchdown pass with 5:40 to go in the first quarter. Colin Winters hit the extra point, and it was 7-0 Mason at that point. After a Mason interception, after a Holt interception on a Mason pass, after an exchange of punts, Ethan Melville finished off a long Holt drive with a 1-yard touchdown sneak. Jack Fisher hit the extra point at the 7:52 mark of the second quarter, and we were tied at 7. Then all Mason did was go on a 6-minute and 15-second drive. Carswell threw to Frankie Trigo on a Z route, as you called it, Doc. 7-yard touchdown pass. Extra point by Winters, good. And with 1:37 to go in the second quarter, it was 14-7 Mason. Mason then stopped Holt on a 3-and-out and used their timeouts to stop the clock. They got the ball back, couple of long passes, and there was a penalty in there as well, wasn't there, on the punt there, Doc, a face mask?
Face mask,
and
yes.
And that put Mason in great field position at the Holt 35-yard line. Excuse me. And Colin Winters, as time ran out in the first half, hit a 33-yard field goal. It was a 28-yard field goal, but a Mason penalty pushed it back 5 yards. No matter. He hit it as time ran out, and it was 17-7 Mason, and that's where we are here after 24 minutes of play. Good first half. Not too many penalties, but the penalties that were there were costly, especially for Holt.
Yeah, that 15-yard face mask penalty put the Bulldogs in a better field position right there. And Mason able to overcome that illegal formation on their field goal attempt there. And Colin Winters still able to make it on that one. Like you said, very few penalties, which is nice to see,
yes,
especially week one. But a couple of them have been significant for the Rams.
So 17-7 Mason leading Holt. You've got the stats right there for both teams.
Let's start with the Holt Rams. Ethan Melville, 2 for 4 for 33 yards and an interception. Does have that rushing touchdown. LaDon Hatcher, 11 carries for 36 yards. They've run for 63 total and they've rushed for 63 yards and 96 total in this ball game. For Mason, Kason Carswell, 8 for 13 for 74 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Frankie Trigo, 2 catches for 13 yards, including one of those for a touchdown. Mason has rushed for 53 yards, and they have 127 total yards of offense. So not a ton of offense in this first half, but both teams didn't have a lot of possessions in the first half. Only a handful for each of them.
Yep. Both teams, again, 1 turnover, points off turnovers, 7 apiece. That's been a factor in this game. Again, penalties, 3 penalties for 11 yards by Mason, 2 penalties for 25 yards for Holt, and that 15-yard face mask really hurt them right near at the end of the first half. Excuse me. Their only penalty that really was a major hurt for either team. 17-7 here at Holt High School. Mason leading in the battle for the Cedar Street Trophy. I'm seeing here a couple of scores here. Thank you, Tim Stout. 17-7, East Lansing leads Portage Central at halftime. And I'm seeing here Lansing Catholic has just taken the lead over Williamston right before the half. They lead 21-14. St. John's leading Okemos 20-7 in the second quarter. Okemos trying to end the longest active losing streak in the state of Michigan at 40 games. They've lost 40 in a row, but St. John's leading them 20-7 at this point. You got a few others right now.
Halftime, Potterville 8, Maple Valley nothing. Keep scrolling here. I know I saw halftime, Corunna 14, Fowlerville 7.
I got Leslie leading Stockbridge 14-0.
We're talking about Everett beating Sexton 28-0. In that matchup.
Got an update from Leslie and Stockbridge. Leslie leading Stockbridge 21-0 in the second quarter.
5:42 left in the first half. DeWitt 35, Hazlitt 21. So you got a shootout there.
Wow.
At Hazlitt High School.
Elliot Larner, a 49-yard touchdown pass to Abram Larner, his brother.
Let's see what else I can find here. Springport 14, Dansville 6. That's at the half. If I can find any others here scrolling around. Olivet 20, Chippewa Hills 7.
Remus Chippewa Hills.
Yep.
Okay. Keep looking at the Twitterverse here. That's all I got right now. Looking to see if there is a Portland-Detroit Country Day score.
Well, let's see if I can search for it real quick.
If you have this lucky number, see me up here and I'll give you your money.
Well, while we look for that here, you know what? Let's take a timeout and we'll come back, try to find some other scores and get your keys to the second half. Let's do that. Mason leads Holt 17-7 after 24 minutes of play. You're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage. The game 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network, brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries, and by Megan Zemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission.
WVFN.
Brock Palmbos, Erik Love back here at Holt High School Mike Smith Memorial Stadium. A stadium dedicated in honor of the late, great Mike Smith. What a great coach he was. What a great administrator he was. An all-around great guy.
Yep.
We dealt with him in the past and never had a problem with him. I remember him when he was an assistant tennis coach at Holt High School.
He brought Eaton Rapids back to some notoriety for a few years there.
First district title, I think, ever when he was coaching there. Amazing. All right, let's get a couple more scores if we can find them. We talked about East Lansing leading their game 17-7. Everett blew out Sexton tonight. Not surprised that Everett won, but 28-0?
Yeah.
Man. Great win for Everett.
We mentioned Leslie 21, Stockbridge nothing at the half.
Yes.
Okay.
And you mentioned what the Maple Valley score? What Maple Valley playing 11-player football again this year, playing Potterville. That was 8-0, wasn't it?
Yep, Potterville 8, Maple Valley nothing at half.
Whoever wins that game, that's a great win for them.
Yeah.
Maple Valley playing 8-man football, was successful at it but couldn't make the playoffs simply because they had too many students in the school to qualify. So decided to go back to 11-player football, and they're playing in the Big 8 conference just south of us.
I don't have anything else. I can't find any more scores right now. We were trying to look for that Detroit Country Day Portland score, but nobody else has that as well either.
Nope, nobody has that either. And again, we'll do the best we can, keeping you updated the rest of the way. Okemos trailing St. John's 20-7. That was in the late in the second quarter. All right, both teams are warming up here for the second half, Doc. Keys to the second half for both teams. First for the team that's trailing, the Holt Rams.
For the Rams, I'm going to say no more turnovers for either team. Turnover either way could be extremely costly, obviously, with both of them scoring points off of each other's mistakes. For the Rams, it's on the ground. It's got to be on the ground. They went 98 yards on that one drive after the interception, and it was pretty much all on the ground for that one. So the ground game has got to be key for them. LaDon Hatcher, he had 11 carries in the first half, so keep riding him, throwing a couple other guys on there. The Wildcat was semi-successful at times for them, a couple times that they ran it for the Rams. So I think the ground game is going to be key for them. Defensively, if they can put some more pressure on Kason Carswell, that will help because, one, they forced an interception in that first quarter, and then they were able to kind of get him uncomfortable back there in the pocket at times. So make sure you keep putting pressure on him. For the Bulldogs, you want Carswell to have the ball as much as possible. He makes good decisions. He did throw the interception, yes, but for the most part, he makes very good decisions. Mix in some runs, some pass, some play action will actually work out very well, and we know that he has the wheels to take off if something happens and nobody's open for them. And defensively, key in on those backs, man. For Bulldogs, keep making sure LaDon Hatcher does not get to the outside, but he's got the speed to run away from some guys.
Big possession here for Holt. They're going to get the ball to start quarter number 3. Doubting Industries, Jeff and Chris Metz sponsoring us tonight and all season long. They recognize the effort and commitment these athletes have given to the sport. Good luck tonight to all the athletes. These memories will be with you for the rest of your life, and we both know that for a fact. Colin Winters kicks it off. It's a squibber inside the 20, inside the 15, taken there at the 13-yard line, out to the 15, out to the 18. That's number 5.
That is Hatcher.
Fumbled it a little bit and got what he could out of it, which was about 5 yards. And they'll take over at the 18-yard line. No, are they going to give him the 20?
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
He kind of stepped out right around there. So
you see a lot of interesting spots at the high school level.
I wouldn't say they give them yards, but sometimes it's not quite as accurate as it could be.
Sometimes they give them the benefit of the doubt, or,
Sometimes the benefit is a little bit more generous than normal.
Yeah.
So.
Well, big drive here for Holt. Ethan Melville in the gun, LaDon Hatcher behind, and right next to him. 3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 right. Going from left to right. Handoff. No, fake handoff. Melville still got it. He's got a first down over the 30. Over the 35 to the 37-yard line. He's taken down there. He was upended. There was that Hendrickson? Yes, Hayden Hendrickson upended him, and it's a good thing he did because had he not, Melville's still running.
17 yards on that run. The fake handoff to Hatcher brought the linebackers in, and the offensive line created a big hole between the guard and center.
8-man front here for... Now a 9-man front here for Mason.
That's Wildcat.
Handoff Hatcher to the 35. That's a loss there.
Lose a couple yards.
Number 10, Wyatt Ball.
Also Owen Attaway, number 7. Both of those guys there waiting for it. It was Amory getting the snap and handing off to Hatcher, and that didn't quite work out.
Loss of 2 on the play. Back to the 36. They're going to be generous and give him... Well, no, it's actually a loss of 1.
Okay. Well, it was 2, and they gave him 1, so... I'll scribble out on my sheet like I usually have to.
Ethan Melville in the gun. 3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 right. Hatcher next to him in the gun. Fake handoff, Hatcher. Melville's going to take it over the 35, over the 40, leans forward to the 42. Good gain. Gain of 6, and it creates a makeable Third down.
We talked about right before this with Case and Carswell having the wheels and being mobile enough to make some plays. Well, Melville says, I can do that as well, and has picked up 23 yards himself on the last couple of plays.
10-22 and counting, third quarter. Mason up 17-7. Dusk setting in here at Holt High School.
Hopefully the temperature drops too.
Not too much.
Well,
no, it's not going to.
I'm ready for fall.
It's late August. Yeah.
I'm ready for fall, but nevertheless, yes.
4 wide receivers for Holt.
Better hurry.
Melville in the gun. Under 5 on the play clock. Handoff. Hatcher out of the gun. 45. And that's all he's going to get.
Not going to get there.
And it's going to be fourth down and about 1.5.
Yep.
9:42 to go, third quarter. It's really fourth and close to 2. You're up close to midfield. You're on your own 44, 45-yard line. They say 4th and 1, but it's really closer to 2. And they're going to line up to go for it. If this were a 14-7 game, I think they might punt here, but they're 2 scores down.
Yeah.
That may be why they're going for it here. They're going to push forward and not going to get it.
Nope.
Absolutely nothing. LaDon Hatcher pushed back by the Mason defense. 81, Sam Corey.
That defensive line in the interior for the Bulldogs clogged up any possible hole that might have been there for LaDon Hatcher, and the Rams gamble, and they lose on that one.
And I'm not going to fault them for doing that there.
No.
You're up around mid. I can see either way. But you're 2 scores down. And if it was 14-7, Doc, I think you would have seen Coach Chad Falk punt there.
As a counterpoint, I would have punted the ball, honestly, at that point. There's 9:14 left in the third quarter. Yes, you're down 2 scores, but it's not 2 touchdowns. It's a field goal and a touchdown. Now you've given Mason great field position.
At the Holt 44-yard line, Carswell. Hands off. Up the middle. Faking to the left and then going back up the middle. Who was that?
Number 3, actually.
Dominic Rodriguez, 5'7", 150.
His first carry of the game.
He gets 4 yards to the 40-yard line. He went to the left. There was nothing there. Veered, cut back to the right, which was towards the middle of the field, and he got 4 yards out of it, pretty much by himself.
Yeah.
Second down and 5. Second down and 6, actually. They were at the 44-yard line. 8:42 and counting. I formation behind Carswell. 3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 right.
Rodriguez stays in at the H-back.
Handoff to Rodriguez. Taken down. He breaks a tackle, still going. He looked like he was going to get hemmed in at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to get away from it and get 4 yards. So it'll be third down and 2. Little change of pace here for Coach Gary Houghton.
Mm-hmm. Nice run and a powerful run for a smaller back out there, able to get away from that initial tackle and bounce to the outside, and they actually dragging a defender along too with him.
8:03, 8:02 and counting. Third and 2 from the 36 of Holt.
Now it's Carson Chapin in the backfield.
Behind Logan Dorr and needs straight I formation. Handoff, Dorr. He's got the first down. First man right up the middle, needed to get 2, got 4 to the 32-yard line. First down.
Fullback dive again. Used to perfection. They did it in the first half.
Going to give him close to 5.
Yeah. I wrote down 4. He's going to be 4. I mean, it's closer to 4 than 5, but nevertheless, another Bulldogs first down.
31-yard line. They don't have individual yard lines here. You just kind of got to guess a little bit. It's not required at the high school level.
Nope.
It is at the college level. So 1st and 10 from the Holt 31-yard line. Shotgun formation. Carswell dropping back to throw. Now rolling out to the right. He throws it away. There is a receiver out in the area, so no intentional grounding. Was going to throw it out to the left. Turned back around to the right. Saw nobody there, and he just threw it away.
There's also a lineman downfield. Big 77, Rory Went, was 7 yards downfield on that play, and I was waiting for the flag to come out, and eventually it did.
You saw that before the officials did, I think.
Yeah, ineligible downfield.
It is intentional grounding.
No, he said intentional grounding. It's ineligible downfield.
Yep.
Whatever play was supposed to have been run, apparently the linemen were supposed to go downfield on that. or either that or Went just got lost.
Backs the Bulldogs up 5 yards.
So 5-yard penalty.
Still first down.
4 penalties for 16 yards for the Bulldogs. 1st and 15. 7:11 to go in the third quarter. Mason up 17-7. Much more competitive game than what happened last year. We expected that. Carswell, hands, Rodriguez.
Nope, Chapin.
That is Chapin. Yep. To the 31, got back to the original line of scrimmage, and then one more gets to the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 9. That was kind of an ace backfield set right there. Logan Dorr was the fullback and then kind of lined up as a wingback or a second tight end. So it'll be 2nd down and 9 from the 30-yard line. 6:45 to go, third quarter.
Now they go back to the shotgun with Dorr as that tight end / H-back.
Fake handoff. Carswell throws it out to the right. Incomplete. He tried to get the ball to Sam Corey, but it was out of his reach. Not the greatest throw there. And it'll be 3rd down. 6:29 to go, third quarter.
Yeah, pass was pretty far outside. Well, referee having a discussion with the lines judge. Whatever it was, they worked it out.
3rd down and 9. 6:29 to go. Big play here in the third quarter. Carswell, low snap from center, feeling the pressure, screen pass, Vaughn, 25, 20, 15, still going, inside the 10, first down. 22-yard gain there on a screen pass.
One of those plays where the offensive lineman just let all the defensive linemen and whoever's blitzing coming into the backfield, and then you just throw it over the top.
Screen pass.
Yep. Those underneath screen passes.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Carswell. Nice handoff there to Rodriguez. Gain of 1, maybe 2. So it'll be 2nd and goal with 6:05 to go, third quarter.
And nobody stayed home on that screen for the Rams, and that allowed all that space for Caleb Vaughn.
Might be one if you got 4 guys going after the quarterback. You may see that and just drop one back into that vacant area. Second down and goal from the 7. Carswell dropping to throw. Fade pattern to the corner. Waiting. Caught. Touchdown.
Sam Corey.
7-yard touchdown.
Defender draped all over him.
It was to the far side. And now we got a whistle here. I think the officials are going to confer here. Is there a man down? Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's what it is.
We got a Ram down, but what a throw by Carswell. And what a catch by Sam Corey to go up there, 6'2", 200 pounds, go up over the top of the defender and haul it in.
7-yard touchdown, and it's 23-7.
The second 7-yard touchdown pass for Carswell. He's got an 8 and 2 7s.
And that's his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. He does have 1 interception, which Holt scored on.
I say all to different receivers, too.
Can't quite see who the man down is on the far side of the field. And not going to speculate, but not going to speculate on who it is. But as far as the injury, hot night tonight, maybe leg cramps.
Could be. It's an easy speculation right there. It's something you can kind of rely on. Hopefully it's nothing more serious than that.
And it looks like it's LaDon Hatcher, number 5.
Yep.
It is.
I think Hatcher was the guy over there in coverage.
Yeah, he's gimping around. Yeah, he's got calf cramps. Got to get some fluid, stretch that out. Well, this is about the time of the game where you see it, in the third quarter. At least on opening night, anyway. Hot night tonight, man. Colin Winter's going to kick the extra point here. 5:32 to go. Low snap. Oh, bad snap from center. And it's going to be taken there, covered there, and the extra point is no good. So,
And the extra point is no good.
with 5:32 to go in the third quarter,
23-7 Mason.
it's Mason 23 and Holt 7. We'll take a 30-second break and come back on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
The Game, 7:30 a.m.
Brock Palmbos, Erik Doc Love back at the Mason Holt game for the Cedar Street Trophy. And the Cedar Street Trophy, the actual trophy is sitting on the track at the north end of the field beyond the goalpost, on the track itself, sitting on a table with a curtain underneath it. And my guess is whoever wins this game tonight, after the game is literally over and they get done shaking hands, they're going to run and grab that trophy. Whoever wins this game. And it is still in doubt. 2-possession game. That missed extra point. Bad snap from center. Doc just messed absolutely everything up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 16-point game, so 2 touchdowns, two 2-point conversions. But now with a quarter and a half to go, Doc, Holt needs to score and probably needs to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Winters kicking off near side from his own 40. Ball taken at the 12. It was fumbled, and now Holt's going to fall on it at the 19-yard line. That was number 3,
Jamel Island,
who fumbled it, and it was covered by one of his teammates at the 19.
Michael Williams, number 7, is the one that fell on top of it. But they've had kick return issues all night now. Every single one has been dropped.
Holt takes over at their own 20-yard line.
And they put it at the 20-yard line. Another generous spot.
The pressure is now on this offense for the Rams.
3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 right. Low snap from center. Handoff. Number 1, Michael Amory to the 25-yard line. Nice gain there. Nice handoff from Ethan Melville to Amory. Gets out to the 25-yard line. Gain of 5.
Troy Peters escorted him out of bounds.
And now we got a whistle here.
We got another Ram down?
Yep, near side.
It's more calf issues, more cramping.
Yep. We're guessing on that. Can't see who it is.
I think it's number 8, Manolo Williams.
Okay.
That's why I brought binoculars, Brock. Try to say that 3 times fast.
Coming up next week, a week from tomorrow.
Tentatively,
we're looking at DeWitt at Mason, who played twice last year, and Mason won both games, including in the playoffs in a game that we did outdoors.
Literally outdoors
on top of the press box. And it was cold that night. We were lucky it was not snowing, and it just sprinkled a little bit, but not enough to cause any damage.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness.
Speaking of DeWitt, 1-8. It's still in the first half of this game between DeWitt and Hazlitt.
Oh, wow.
118. DeWitt 49, Hazlitt 28. Elliott Lerner with his 3rd rushing touchdown. This one from 80 yards out for the Panthers.
Wow.
Yeah.
You figured maybe 49-28 at the end of the game. Not in the first half.
It's still the first half because both these teams can't stop each other.
Yep,
it is Manolo Williams.
It is Manolo Williams, and it is a leg cramp.
Yep.
Let's give him a hand.
And he's going to the ground. Got to stretch it out. Yep. Get him some fluids.
Halftime, Wayland 35, Waverly 14.
Okay. 2nd down and 5. Ethan Melville in the gun. Fake handoff. He's going to take it himself. He's got a 1st down, I think. Yeah, they'll give it to him. He's out over the 30. That's all he had to do. He had to get to the 30. He got to the 31. Gain of 6.
Gavin Van Kirk with the tackle.
Holt Rams first down.
But keeps the chains moving with 5:01 left in the 3rd.
Gavin Van Kirk.
I think Holt needs to pick it up here a little bit. Not go into a hurry-up offense or anything like that, but quicken it up a little bit.
Maybe not, though, with all these guys going down with calf cramps. You don't want to push it too quick.
True.
I think Hatcher's back in the game. He is.
Yep. Melville in the shotgun. Handoff, Hatcher, right side. He's got room, 35, 39-yard line. Taken down out of bounds there by number 15, Troy Peters. Almost a horse collar tackle.
Close.
But not quite. Taken down at the 49-yard line.
You got some of the shoulder pad as far as well as the back of it.
Yep.
So that's okay.
Gain of 8. Second down and short. 4:15 to go, third quarter. Holt down 23-7. Go ahead.
Nice to see Hatcher back out there after his calf cramp issues.
3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 right. Melville in the gun. Low snap. He's got to go get it. Now he does, and he throws it up and throws it away. Nice job by Melville.
Yep, that's what you got to do. Snap kind of rolled back to him on that one.
And he did have enough time to gather it, see that he had absolutely nothing, had the presence of mind to get out of the pocket and throw it away.
That's what I was just going to say. Thank you.
Oh, man, Manello Williams, he's really in pain right now.
That calf cramp is pretty severe down there.
Third down and 2, 39-yard line. Melville in the gun. Is that Hatcher next to him? I think it is. Handoff, Hatcher. Fakes, gets over the 40 to the 42, and he's going to get a first down.
Had to sidestep Logan Dorr to get that.
Yeah, needed 2, got 3. Holt's going to keep the ball. 3:53 to go. Clock stops on a first down.
Nice shifty moves by the diminutive LaDon. Hatcher to get past Logan Dorr because Dorr was there in the hole where Hatcher was supposed to run through on that right side.
Melville in the gun again. Low snap again. He's able to recover, throw it out to the right. It's caught at the 46, 47-yard line by number 7. That's
Michael Williams.
Michael Williams, yep. For a short gain out to the 45-yard line.
We got 4. Good strong throw by the quarterback Melville, who had to pick the ball up off the ground from that snap from back to the shotgun formation.
Second down and 6 from their own 45-yard line. Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Brock Palmbush, Eric Doc Love, glad you're joining us here for high school football. On the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN. Melville, fake handoff, going to take it himself over the 45 into Mason territory, and he might have another first down. I think he does. And the officials, more importantly, say he does. Gets to the 48-yard line of Mason, and he needed to get there to get it. 2:39 and counting in the third quarter.
I like the play from Melville here in this ballgame. Did have the interception the very first play of the game for them, at least for the first drive.
Outside of that, he's played fairly well. He's in the shotgun again. Down to 2:20 to go in the third quarter. Handoff, that's Hatcher to the 45 and no further. He's pushed back there. Number 9, Joey Schild, amongst the Bulldogs, in on the tackle.
Couldn't get to the sideline. Mason kept him in bounds.
To the 46-yard line. Gain of about 2. We're down to 1:40 to go. That's really closer to 3. They're going to give him 3 on that one. Okay. 1:42.
In the third.
Now 1:37 and counting in the third quarter. I'd like to see Holt maybe go a little quicker here. Melville dropping straight back to throw. He's got time. He's got a man deep over the middle. Oh, he just overthrew him. He overthrew number 10.
Jasavion Taylor.
And now is he cramping up now? Yes, he is.
He had beaten his defender rather easily.
And as he was reaching, diving for the ball.
And his teammate trying to help him out there, number 13, Grayson Windmeyer.
And the trainer has to come out, so he's going to have to come out of the game.
Yep. He's got to come out for a play. But the throw from Melville, just a tad too much.
Just missed him.
Because the receiver, Taylor, had a couple of steps on his defender. Nice little post route.
Yeah, good
was
play design.
Just missed.
Execution just wasn't quite there.
Game of inches, right? That's what they say.
Name your coach who has said that. Just pick one.
And it's not necessarily inches, when running the ball. Sometimes when you're throwing the ball like that, if you just miss it.
Because he was open. He had outrun the safety. Nonetheless, 3rd down and 7. 1:23 to go in the third quarter.
Now you're talking 4-down territory. I know the drive before you were saying you were okay with them doing either, and I said punt. This is a situation where now you're running out of time in the third quarter. You have to go for it if you don't pick it up.
Exactly. You're not down 10-7. You're down 23-7. Ethan Melville in the gun. Good snap. Fake handoff. Going to take it himself. Going over the left side. Gets away from one defender. And now he's snowed under. Fumble. We're going to see who recovers it. I think Mason's got it.
Yep.
And they do. It's on the far side of the field. I couldn't see who recovered it, but the ball popped out, and it was knocked out, Doc.
Yep. They're saying number 56, Zach Wells.
Recovered it?
That's what they're saying. That's what the public address announcer said. I don't know if that's for sure, but...
Okay, well, 56. Well, that's one of his numbers there.
Yeah.
That might be his road number. And he wears 34 on home games. Like if we do the DeWitt Mason game, he might be wearing number 34.
Yeah. Nevertheless, it's Bulldog ball.
Huge play there. 1:13 to go in the third quarter. Carswell in the gun. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes so far. Reverse screen. Caught. Into Holt territory, close to a first down.
It's 15. Troy Peters.
Yep, Troy Peters.
Pass is complete to number 15, Troy Peters.
Under a minute to go, and now Mason can take their sweet time. Well, one thing we do know, watching this for almost 3 quarters, Holt's a better team than they were last year.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that.
Still struggling to score points, though.
Carswell in the gun again. Caleb Vaughn next to him. Probably going to be the last play of the third quarter. Getting lined up right. Have problems people getting lined up properly tonight. Low snap from center taken by Caleb Vaughn.
He's picked it up.
He picked it up, and he's going to get a first down. Maybe. Clock is stopped with 20 seconds to go. We're going to wait and see. It could be a measurement here.
Chain gang's trying to move. They said he got it.
He did get the first down. Not by much.
Nope.
20 seconds to go in the quarter. Mason does not have to run another play in this quarter. Down to 10 seconds. They may run another play here. 4 wide receivers, under 10 seconds to go in the third. 5, 4. Yep, they're going to run it. Carswell dropping the throw, throwing deep, going for it all. Incomplete.
Try to find 17, Darian Williams.
And we got a flag down. Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Wow.
Holt.
Well, they're going to, Mason's going to like taking that last snap before the end of the quarter then, because they're going to pick up an extra 15 yards.
Now it's a defensive penalty. Are they going to have what's called one untimed down?
They can, yeah.
It's their option,
Yep.
yes. I didn't see the contact. I was following the ball to see if the receiver was going to get it.
Me too.
But you know what? The referee, the man in the white hat, that's his job.
They're going to go
Protect
talk about
the quarterback.
He's going to go and ask him, hey, do you want one more play?
Because they can do one untimed down.
They're going to do it.
And they are. Hey, I would too. No, I'm not going to argue with that.
Why not?
It's going to be from the Holt 30-yard line.
Take that free play.
I formation behind Carswell. Caleb Vaughn, the tailback in the I. Handoff. Vaughn. Man, bad time to sneeze there.
Bless you.
Thank you. He doesn't get very much out of it, and now we've reached the end of the third quarter unless there's another penalty here. Nope, doesn't look like it is. So we've reached the end of 3 quarters of play. Mason is in control, but it's not over yet. Mason 23, Holt 7. 30-second break, and we're back on the game 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network. Brought to you by the Lansing Sports Commission and by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries.
The game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN.
Brock Palmbos, Erik Doc Love back here at Holt High School, Mike Smith Memorial Stadium. Mason leading Holt 23-7 after 3 quarters of play. Mason with the ball on the Holt 30-yard line. They're going from left to right here in the fourth quarter. Mason trying to cash in a Holt turnover.
5:10 left in the third. Leslie 21, Stockbridge 7. And they finally hit halftime at Hazlet High School. DeWitt 49, Hazlet 28.
Wow.
Almost 2 hours for the first half of that ball game.
Hour and 45 minutes to play a half of football. And 24-minute half. That's almost unheard of. 12 minutes are on the clock, ready to start the fourth quarter. Here we go. Carswell dropping to throw, throws it out to the left, incomplete.
Got tipped.
Tipped by number 1, Michael Amory. Second down and 10.
Looking for Logan Dorr, lined up at that tight end / H-back, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, wing back sometimes.
He tried to sneak out. Carswell, they would have him rolling left a lot, those are tough throws for a right-handed quarterback.
The guys that don't have problems with those kind of throws play on Sundays in the fall.
Yes.
And on Mondays on occasion.
And Thursdays.
And on Thursday
and
night
Wednesdays.
on occasion. It will this year.
Yeah.
On Christmas Day, there's going to be some Wednesday games. Crazy.
And Friday, too. They're trying to get Friday games out there as well.
And in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Packers, Eagles. Here's Carswell rolling out to the left. He's going to throw it out to the left, and it's caught, I believe, close to a first down. Number 11, Talon Gardner.
Yeah. Another lefted throw. Another throw left.
To the 21-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Carswell, the number 11, Talon Gardner.
Now, the down marker says 4, but it should be 3rd down.
Yeah, it is. Because you had incomplete, and then you had a 9-yard gain on that.
Yep.
Comeback route, and now it makes it 3rd and 1.
Scoreboard says 4th down. They're going to hand off to Dorr, and it's not going to make any difference because he got the first down. Needed 1, got 3. And they're down to the 18-yard line.
Brings the ball for a Mason first down. Tripped up by number 9, Aaron Chesky.
This is one of those drives, if you're the Holt Ram defense,
must stop.
You got to get a turnover here or something. I mean, you're going to have to force something.
And now you're in range of a field goal. That if Mason...
Colin Winters can easily make this.
Yes. It'd be a 36, 37-yard, well, even closer than that, maybe 35 yards. He can certainly make that.
That's why it's not a stop situation. It's a turnover situation. You got to force something.
Or hope for a missed field goal. Carswell, under center. Vaughn, single setback. Kind of an ace backfield look. Fake, and now he's going to get sacked. Got sacked behind the line of scrimmage. He faked it to Vaughn, but the penetration was so good.
Cooper Benson, number 17.
Number 17, Cooper Benson. He's a senior. Huge play there. That's a 7-yard loss. 2nd down and long.
A little contact between the running back Carson Chapin and Kaysen Carswell, the quarterback. When he tried to drop back, they kind of got their feet tangled up a little bit, and it blew up the entire play besides the great job by Cooper Benson.
10 minutes remaining. Mason can take their sweet old time here.
And they are. They're more of a muddle huddle. They don't quite huddle up every time, and they generally are not in a hurry, but they don't usually take this much time.
Under 5 on the play clock, and it's going to be delay a game.
Yep.
Took too long.
It's one of those situations where you're trying to burn as much clock as possible, but not that much.
Visible play clocks, the ones that count down, not the officials, those are optional in the MHSAA. You do see them once in a while at the bigger schools. But in case here at Holt High School, the back judge puts his hand up at 10 seconds, and then counts it off starting at 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 40-second clock from the previous play. Remember, it used to be they would stop it, and then when the ball was ready for play, it'd be 25 seconds from that. But they changed that rule almost 10 years ago. 9:46 to go. Second down and long. Carswell fakes the handoff. He's going to take it himself. He's going to get most of that yardage back and a little bit more, and it's going to create a very makeable third down.
He was outrunning his blockers on that play.
Gain of 11 from the 26 down to the 15.
Carswell carries the ball.
They relied on his feet a little bit more than they have in previous seasons.
Clock stopped for just a moment, and now it's running. Third down and about 7, it looks like. And depending on what they do on this play, if they don't get very much or take a loss, they'll probably kick the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere close to the first down, probably go for it. Because if you get stopped, you got Holt buried in their own territory. Carswell in the gun. He's going to take it himself. And he's not going to get the first down, but he's going to be close, and they're going to have an interesting decision here. Gets down to the 12-yard line. It's going to be 4th and short.
Carswell, the quarterback, carries the ball.
4th and 3.
Stopped by number 17, Cooper Benson. It is 4th down and 3 for the Bulldogs.
And here comes the kicker, Colin Winters.
Colin Winters going to try to kick a field goal here. Puts it down at the 19-yard line. Call it a 29-yard field goal from the left hash.
Wyatt Ball is the holder.
Number 10.
He made from 28, and then they had a penalty right before the half and went back 5 more.
Good snap. Placement down. Kick on the way. It's long enough. And it's good.
Wow. Plenty of distance, too.
The field goal.
29-yard field goal.
It is good.
And with 8:19 to go in the fourth quarter, Mason is up 26-7. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on the game 7:30 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
WVFN.
Brock Palmbos, Erik, Doc Love back here at Holt High School. Mason is up 26-7 after a Colin Winters 29-yard field goal. And it's a 3-score game now for Holt. Kason Carswell, All-State quarterback last year, 3 touchdown passes. He does have an interception, which led to the only score of the game for Holt. Winters kicking off left to right. Boots it deep. Fumbled again. That's by Michael Amory. He gets out over the 20. Nope, out over the 15. He gets to the, I think, the 20, and that's about it.
Yeah, every kickoff.
The ball to the 20-yard line. The Rams will take over 1st and 10.
Every kickoff has had issues.
Man,
for Holt.
Of the Bulldogs.
End of third, Corunna 14, Fowlerville 14.
Wow.
Through 3, Springport 20, Dansville 6.
Dansville with a new coach this year, Wayne Dismuke, the former Eaton Rapids coach. Ethan Melville dropping to throw. He's throwing it deep. He's got a man out there, and it's overthrown.
Trying to find number 7, Michael Williams.
And he was open, too.
It's twice now where Melville's had receivers that have beaten their defenders deep. And the ball just had a little too much air on it. Obviously, being down 26-7, you need points in a hurry, so they're going to go deep.
Oh, absolutely. No problem with the play call. He was open.
If you're Mason, I might play a little bit further back. Their safeties are about, 10 yards up?
Oh, they've had 8 9-man fronts tonight.
Yeah.
8:07 to go in regulation. Melville, now a reverse. To the 20, to the 24, 25. Taken down there is number 10, Jasavion Taylor. Clock is stopped. And what do we got here? Officials are talking. It might be a penalty here on the near side. I can't see a flag.
I do. I see the flag over there. It's right by where the ball was snapped.
Okay. Well, let's see. Holding on Holt.
So wipe out that gain.
Fourth penalty of the game on Holt. 4 penalties for 50 yards. Mason, 5 penalties for 21 yards.
So fewer than you usually see week 1, but Holt's every single time have been at really bad times.
Yep. 7:58 left in regulation. And it goes way back to the 10-yard line. So it's going to be what? 2nd and 20.
Yep.
Clock is running. Melville in the gun. Dropping back. He's going to throw it out to the right. Tipped. Intercepted. No, dropped.
Almost intercepted.
Intended receiver out there was that number 3, Jamel Island?
Well, Wyatt Ball's the one that made the deflection.
Yeah.
He ran underneath the route.
Island was the receiver, yes.
Island was the guy, and then Ball ran underneath the pass and nearly picked it off.
3rd down and 20. 7:46 left in regulation. Get you an idea after this play here as we get close to the 9 o'clock hour. Ethan Melville. Gets the snap from center. Trying to get away from the pressure. Gets it out, and the pass is just short. Tried to get it to Manolo Williams, but the pass was just short, and it's going to be 4th and long, and no choice here. You got to punt.
Yeah, Melville escaped the pressure initially, and he couldn't step into the throw. That's why the ball came up short to Manolo Williams. Not enough effort or not enough ability to get the ball out there because there was a defender in front of him. He couldn't step into it.
Melville standing in his own end zone. 7:43 left.
And that's Wyatt Ball again back there.
Standing at the Holt 46-yard line. Snap is good. Kick is away. It's high and short. Again, about the 3rd time it's happened. Bounces at the 35. Now bounces up to the 40 to the 41-yard line. 31-yard punt, no return. And now Mason will take over with 7:31 left in regulation.
About the 41-yard line.
They can milk the clock as much as possible.
Yep. Work on your 4-minute offense with 7.5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And some might think, well, you've got this game in hand. Why not put the backups in the game? Well, no. Because you need, and also you need your starting quarterback to practice in a 4-minute offense here. And it isn't like it's 50-7 or anything like that.
No. And you need these guys need reps. I mean, we've talked about that in the pregame.
In actual game situations.
They had some. A lot of these guys did last year, but they weren't in full game situations.
True. I formation here with 3 wide receivers.
I think it's Dom Rodriguez in the backfield. Yep.
He gets the ball, and there's nothing there. Taken down by number 17.
Cooper Benson.
Cooper Benson gets penetration, no gain. Aaron Cesney.
He was there as well, the linebacker.
Had a real good first half. I haven't called his name in the second half. Down to 7 minutes to go.
Mason's kind of went away from where he's been at, understandably.
Your 50-50 winner now is 63107.
As we cross the 9 o'clock hour, I want to let you know you're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage. The game, 7:30 a.m., WVFN East Lansing, a Town Square media station. I formation, Carswell, hands to number 3. That's Adam Rodriguez, trying to get away from some defenders. Unable to do so. Great penetration by Holt. This Holt defense still playing hard.
Number 15, Bryson DeSmith, is the guy that wrapped him up. Good job by Dom to not lose any yards out of that, actually, to get nothing out of it.
It looked like he was going to be tackled for about a 4-yard loss, but he did a good job getting back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10 from the 41. Substitutions here.
Talon Gardner comes in late.
Play clock under 10. Now down to 5. Carswell gets the snap from center, trying to get away from the pressure. He does. Still trying to get away. Now he's going to run, and he's going to dive out of bounds, get as much as he can. It's going to be 4th down.
Play broken up there.
It's going to be 4th down. It's probably going to be punt time here.
What do you get? He got 4 yards out of it.
He did well. I tell you what, he did well to get 4 yards out of it. He got to the 38-yard line. And this is where Mason might want to run the clock down and call a timeout here and then get yourself reset.
Mm-hmm. Carswell is the punter, and he steps back to...
Punted one other time in this game, didn't he?
Yep. He went into the end zone in the first half.
Yep.
Similar situation where short yards.
Exactly. Down to 5 minutes left. Good snap. He gets the kick away. It's not a very good kick. And that's going to go into the end zone.
Yep.
All right, 4:50 to go, 4:49 to go in regulation. Mason leading Holt, 26-7. Let's take 30 and come back on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN.
Lansing Sports Leader, the game, 7:30 a.m.
Back here at Holt High School, Holt with the ball on their own 20-yard line, trailing 26-7, 4:49 left in regulation. Melville rolling out to the left. He's going to throw out to the left. It's a low throw, incomplete. Island.
Second down.
Jamel Island, that's E-I-L-A-N-D. Ball was just short. It was low and short.
Well, the pressure again from the Rams, or from the Bulldogs, just didn't allow Melville to step into the throw.
2nd and 10 from the 20.
Late sub for Holt, missing a player. That's B.J. Henry.
Both teams have had trouble getting lined up properly tonight.
Yeah.
Again, first game of the season. Somewhat understandable. Melville.
False start. No.
No, they didn't call it.
Okay.
Melville throwing deep over the middle. He's got a man out there. Incomplete. Trying to get to number 2, B.J. Henry.
He was the late sub.
Yep.
I thought he started early, did B.J. Henry, and the referee just kind of let it go, I think.
4:39 left. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
3rd down and 10 for the Rams.
Melville has missed his last 6 passes. Just been good defense by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, good, solid defense tonight. They had just had the one long 6-minute drive against them.
Mm-hmm.
4:39 left in regulation.
And unfortunately, if you're a Rams fan, then like last year, just have an issue scoring.
Mason jumps, and they're going to get 5 for that.
Yep. 5 free yards.
6 penalties on the night. See what happens when we talk about the quality of play and penalties and lack of penalties and all that. And there pretty much was in the first half. There's been some more in the second half. Mason 6 penalties for 26 yards.
Third quarter, East Lansing 24, Portage Central 7.
Potterville up 8-0 on Maple Valley.
Still
in the third quarter. Ethan Melville dropping the throw. Throws it out to the right. It's caught. First down.
Nice comeback route by number 7, Micah Williams.
Micah Williams, nice catch. First down. 4:28 to go in regulation. Out to the 33-yard line. Clock running.
Stop at number 26, Gavin Van Kirk of the Bulldogs.
4:20 and counting in regulation. Four wide receivers. Melville dropping to throw, feeling some pressure. He gets out to the right. He's going to run. He's going to get a first down, and he gets out of bounds.
Nice job recognizing nobody's open, taking off.
Find the open area, get as much as you can, get out of bounds if you can, stop the clock.
Mm-hmm.
They get out to the 44-yard line, 1st and 10 from their own 44. Gain of 11.
I touched on it before. Melville's made some good decisions here tonight and recognized when he's needed to take off. And, I talked about the incompletions of 6 straight before that last one. Not all those his fault.
No.
He missed a couple over the top that could have been.
A couple opportunities, yeah.
But others have just been pressure, and he just hasn't been able to get into it.
4 wide receivers again. Melville in the gun, running back next to him. Going to hand to the running back.
Hatcher.
That is Hatcher, and he gets out of bounds close to midfield. That will stop the clock. 3:53 to go. Gain of 5, maybe 6.
No, they said the clock is going.
Nope. Stopping the clock here. They finally stopped the clock with 3:45 left. They let some seconds run off the clock that shouldn't have. He got out of bounds. That should stop the clock.
Well, the side judge there said keep the clock rolling. So
and then the near side judge, the line judge, said stop it.
Yeah.
And now the clock is running. .320 to go in regulation. 2nd down and long. Dropping to throw. Melville, he's throwing deep. He's got a man out there. It's short. Trying to get the ball out there to Jasavion Taylor. Who was that out there defending?
I think it was number 10, Wyatt Ball.
That's Wyatt Ball. Yep, number 10. Okay.
It was 10 on 10. And Taylor, the ball was going one way. He just couldn't find it. He went left, he went right, and by the time he found the ball, it was too late. It had not reached to his position.
3:10 to go in regulation. 26-7 Mason. 3:10 away from retaining the Cedar Street Trophy. And I don't see the Cedar Street Trophy on that table anymore.
Well, your thought process about leaving it out there and somebody coming to grab it.
Unless somebody stole it.
Well, I doubt that.
I hope that's not the case.
Maybe they brought it a little bit closer somewhere. Oh, it's right there. It's being walked over to the Mason sideline.
Oh, there it is. Assuming that they're going to win. Melville takes the snap. He's close to a first down. He won't get it. It's going to be 4th down here with 3 minutes to go.
Melville, the ball carrier.
The trophy making the slow walk on the track to behind the Mason bench.
2:45 to go. It'll be 4th and 1 here for Holt. Really their last chance.
Yep. Just trying to finish the game and play a proud one.
Like to see him play a little bit quicker, but
being down 19.
At this point,
they just want to finish and get another score is all they're trying to do.
2:22 and counting. 4 wide receivers, 3 left, 1 to the right. Melville. Handoff. That's Hatcher. And I don't know. Oh, he's going to get a good mark. Yep. He's got it. That's a first down. Gets to the 45.
Now they're hurrying up a little bit.
2:07 to go. They'll get the spot right. And now the clock is running. We're down to 2 minutes to go. Here's Melville in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers left, 2 right. He's dropping straight to throw. Throws it out to the left, and it's intercepted. This could be a pick 6. Now we got a flag down.
Another flag.
And 2 flags. 3 flags. 4 flags. Oh, boy.
Darian Williams, number 17, made a late substitution to play cornerback, came in there, and the pass went right to him.
My goodness, 4 flags. And the officials will sort this out with a minute 34, and now 5 flags.
Yep, another one came in late.
Maybe somebody saying some bad words?
Somebody said something they shouldn't have. I'm imagining these are going to be on Mason, and they're going to
Man, there's
at least one of them.
Got to get some detergent out there. So much laundry out there. Minute 34 left.
And they're trying to discuss.
Here we go. Personal foul.
Blindside block.
Blindside block on Mason.
That's one.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Mason. This is after the interception, I would assume.
It is. The dead ball one is, yes. So the blindside block is during the play, so that's 15. And then it's dead, and that's 15 more. It's academic at this point, nevertheless, but you don't like to see the unsportsmanlike afterwards.
No. There's been some talking tonight.
There has, and that's fine. You can have some friendly jabber back and forth, but you don't like to see the one at the end.
Ball all the way back to the 30-yard line. And now here you might see some backups in the game here just to finish it out.
Well, Mason had brought in some defensively on that last drive because Darian Williams isn't a normal starting cornerback for them. So he came in, he made the pick.
And Coach Gary Holton having an extended talk with his team, maybe telling them, guys, cool it.
Yeah.
We can't afford to get anybody suspended. Or maybe somebody else on the other team takes a cheap shot against him.
Correct.
And Kason Carswell is still in the game.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he's there to kneel the ball down.
I seriously doubt, or just run the ball.
One of the two. They're missing somebody. And there they go.
Yep. It's number 17 again, Darian Williams. Guy who just made the interception. He was supposed to be out there and finally got out there. I formation behind Carswell.
Chapin is the deep back.
So they're going to have some backup running backs in there. There's Chapin. Gets it over to the 30, to the 32, maybe the 33. Second down and 7. Mason's going to win this game. They're going to go to 1-0 on the season. And they'll play DeWitt next week at home in their home opener. And, Eric, you and I will very likely be there.
Can they slow down that Panther offense that had 49 points in the first half against Hazlitt?
In a game that, in a first half that took an hour and 45 minutes, which is almost unheard of in a 24-minute half.
We don't usually get 70-plus points in a first half of a ball game.
Nope. 50 seconds to go. And now Carswell's going to take a knee. And he'll have to take one more knee. And then this game will be over.
Nope. That's it. You only need to take the one.
Well, you know what? Technically, they do have to run another play, but the officials are just going to wave this off. They know this game is over. Down to 22, down to 20. 15 seconds to go. The teams are already lining up. Coming up in the postgame, we'll have postgame stats and analysis, and we'll get you scores from around the mid-Michigan area. As much as we can find on the Twitterverse, Mason retains the Cedar Street Trophy by beating neighboring rival Holt 26-7. We'll take a timeout and come back, but now it's time for the season premiere of This Week in High School Sports with John Ross.
MHSAA athletes come back from Paris with medals and a celebration a century in the making. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Welcome back to another school year and another season of highlighting stories from across the state. The 2024-25 school year is a special one here at the MHSAA. It is our 100th year, a century of celebrating school sports. All year long, we'll highlight the people, places, and things that have helped shape the MHSAA, Rivalries, records, top players, we'll look back at it all, both at MHSAA.com and on our social media pages. For example, on August 26, 2017, Dylan Gordon had a 99-yard run for North Farmington, tied for the longest in MHSAA history. On August 29, 2003, Ben Baragray of Gaylord had 7 quarterback sacks in a game against Ogama Heights. And on August 30th, 2010, the highest scoring tied soccer game happened twice. Berrien Springs and Buchanan tied at 6, as did Coloma and Cassopolis. Every day this school year, we'll highlight records from the past 100 years. And each Friday is Photo Friday. We'll be showing off historical photos from our files. And every week, we'll be highlighting something that has helped make the MHSAA what it is today. So check us out online and on social to see how we're celebrating a century of high school sports. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. Traverse City St. Francis's, the MHSAA was well represented at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. 15 athletes who played an MHSAA sport participated, with 3 bringing home a medal. Grand Blank's Grant Fisher earned 2 bronze medals in the 5,000 and 10,000 meter races. He's the first American to medal in both events at the same Olympics. Caledonia's Elena Olson was on the bronze medal-winning women's rugby team. And Devin Booker, who played basketball at Granville his freshman year, was on the gold medal-winning men's basketball team. Heath Baldwin, Adam Kuhn, Freddie Crittenden, Aaron Cummings, Andrew Evans, Hobbs Kessler, Grace Stark, and Abby Tamer were all also in London for Team USA. 4 other countries were represented by an MHSAA athlete. Cindy Ophelia Sember ran for Great Britain. Miles Amin wrestled for San Marino. Alex Rose threw the discus for Samoa. And Udodi Anwuzariki ran for Nigeria. Congrats to all who qualified, and we hope to see even more familiar faces at the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll be back next week.
Lansing's only sports station. The Game, 7:30. Let's play.
Brock Fulton, Eric Doc Love back here at Holt High School. Mason wins it. They win the Cedar Street Trophy again, taking it 26-7 over the Holt Rams. Tonight's broadcast brought to you tonight and all season long by Dowding Industries. Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries. Always looking to develop your talent. Michigan is a manufacturing state. If you're looking for a career with huge potential, check out one of the many manufacturing companies in our local area. You can check them out on the internet as well, dowdingindustries.com. And by Megan Zemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission. No matter the sport, the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. And you can find details, great information. They got a great website, lansingsports.org. Mason wins it over Holt, 26-7. Let's get to the scoring summary here. In the first half, Mason got out to a lead in the first quarter. They cashed in a Hayden Hendrickson interception for a touchdown. Kason Carswell, their senior quarterback, to Luke Gose, an 8-yard touchdown pass. The extra point by Colin Winters was good, and at the 5:40 mark of the first quarter, it was 7-0 Mason. Holt on the next possession punted, but then Mason threw an interception. Kason Carswell threw an interception, and Holt went on a 98-yard drive in the first half, so more than 6 minutes long. And Ethan Melville, the quarterback, took it in from 1 yard out. Extra point by Jack Fisher was good. We had a ball game. It was 7-7, 7:52 to go in the second quarter. All Mason did, go on a 6-minute, 15-second drive. Kason Carswell to Frankie Trigo, a 7-yard touchdown pass. That was that Z route, Doc, that you were talking about earlier. It was good for a touchdown with 1:37 left in the second. Extra point, Colin Winters, good. 14-7 Mason. Mason had all 3 timeouts, and they stopped Holt on a 3-and-out, and they got the ball back at their own 45-yard line on a poor punt, and they got it down close enough. And with 1 second to go, Colin Winters hit a 28-yard field goal that was called back because of a penalty. So they had to try again from 5 yards back. No problem. He hit a 33-yard field goal as time ran out in the first half of play, and it was 17-7 Mason, and that was the score after 24 minutes of play. In the second half, Holt got the ball, did not score, had to punt the ball, and Kason Carswell threw to Sam Corey, drove it down, threw to Sam Corey, a 7-yard touchdown. Bad snap from center prevented the extra point from being good. It was no good, and it was 23-7 Mason at that point. Mason stopped Holt from there on out, and Colin Winters put on a clinching field goal, really put the game away early in the fourth quarter, made it 26-7. It was a 29-yard field goal with 8:19 to go in the fourth, and that was it there. Mason then intercepted another pass, and they were able to run out the clock. Holt committed 3 turnovers tonight. Mason only 1. And that's it for that. Penalties in the game. Mason, 8 penalties for 56 yards, something they're going to have to work on. Holt, 4 penalties for 50 yards into the game. Mason now 1-0 on the season. Holt is 0-1. And, Doc, Mason retains the Cedar Street Trophy for another year.
Yep. Looking at stats for this one for the Rams and the loss here at home. Ethan Melville, 4 for 15 for 46 yards, 2 interceptions. Did run the ball pretty well, 11 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. However, there was 1 fumble. LaDon Hatcher, 19 carries for 58 yards. It was nice to see him come back after having the leg cramp issues there in the third quarter. Holt, 145 yards rushing. That's pretty good, but they only had 191 total in this one. And, yes, only 1 touchdown again. Touched on it a couple of times, and I won't mention it anymore, but they had issues scoring last year, and they only get 7 again here. Yep. In this one at home.
Very good drive. And they had a couple opportunities on long passes, potentially, but
inopportune turnovers as well, or penalties as well that it cost them.
Yeah, even though they had only 4, it did hurt them at times.
Yep.
But I think Holt's a better team than they were last year.
They were.
I just think so.
They were very young last year. Those guys have got plenty of experience, and they played a little bit better here tonight, but just not enough for Mason, who in the win, Bulldogs, 87 rushing yards in this one, 208 total. So not many more yards, but Mason had some shorter fields for some of their drives when they scored.
Field position was a factor in this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kason Carswell, 12 for 19, 121 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Did run the ball 9 times for 26 yards. Sam Corey, 3 catches, 24 yards, and a touchdown. Caleb Vaughn, 2 catches for 46 yards in this one. All 3 of Carswell's touchdowns went to different receivers for Mason in this. So 208, not a lot of yards for them. They're used to racking up the offensive points and the offensive yards in previous years. Still good enough and plenty enough defense to win this ball game here on the road. And like you said, retain the Cedar Street Trophy for the 3rd consecutive year.
So Mason is going to play DeWitt next week, and they're playing Hazlitt tonight in a wild game that is still in the third quarter at 9:28.
Not surprised, because it took an hour and 45 minutes to complete the first half.
Unbelievable. We'll get you scores from around the Mid-Michigan area here, as many as we can find here. That's coming up after our last break. This is high school football on your trusted source for high school sports. The game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing. We'll take one final timeout, and we'll get you those scores after this on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
Lansing Sports Station. The game, 7:30 a.m.
Back one final time here at Mike Smith Memorial Stadium at Holt High School. Mason beats Holt tonight, 26-7 to retain the Cedar Street Trophy. Mason plays DeWitt next week, and very likely we're going to do that game. Game's still late in the third quarter. Corey Amakri has just scored another touchdown for Hazlitt, but they still trail DeWitt 56-35. Folks, that's a real score.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
5:18 left. Lansing Catholic 35, Williamston 28. So a good ball game happening over there.
I saw a Fowlerville final. I think they lost 21-14.
They did. Yep. Springport 28, Dansville 13. That is a final. Olivet 49-21 over their opponent. What was it? Chippewa Hills.
Who is that?
Remus Chippewa Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, Olivet 49, Chippewa Hills 21.
Leslie 34, Stockbridge 7. They're just starting the fourth quarter now.
2:47.
Fowlerville, by the way, lost to Corunna.
Okay, yep. 2:47 left in the game. Potterville 8, Maple Valley 6.
Trying to find some other scores. The Twitterverse not coming through for us.
Rockford upsetting Cass Tech right now, 30-13.
Oh, wow.
A couple of heavyweights in the state of Michigan.
Playing at Rockford High School tonight. Cass Tech, the Technicians, heading to the west side.
Looking a little further deeper here. Trying to see if there's any other finals. Frankenmuth won 22-0 over Goodrich.
Pewamo, Westphalia 8, North Muskegon 7.
Wow.
Final.
Is that a final?
That's a final score. 8-7.
That's a gut winner right there.
Great win for Jeremy Miller.
Yeah.
And that score earlier from Everett beating Sexton, 28-0.
28-0. Yep.
Yep.
5 minutes left. Leslie 41, Stockbridge 7. So Leslie going to go to 1-0. We'll go back to that. We never ever found out that Country Day Portland score.
Portland score, no.
Let me see if I can find that. No, still no scores from that ball game. People are not on Twitter for that game, apparently. And that's all I got for you, Brock. Can't find anything else.
Let me see. Lakewood leading Battle Creek Penfield 14-6. Let me get an updated score here from their athletic director here. Lakewood leading Battle Creek Penfield 27-6 in the fourth quarter.
Any other notable games we should be looking for?
I didn't have an East Lansing score other than 17-7. They were leading at the half.
Let me do a quick search on that one then, see if I can find it. End of the third, East Lansing 24, Portage Central 7. But that was 22 minutes ago.
Okay.
So,
all right. That was in the fourth quarter?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I got a more updated one. East Lansing 31-7.
In the fourth quarter?
In the fourth quarter, yep.
Okay. And that probably means they're going to win. They're going to win that one. Oh, by the way, Elliot Larner just scored again. DeWitt 63, Hazlitt 35.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can safely say we'll be at Mason High School next week for DeWitt at Mason.
And then for Mason, they got to do some study, and that defense got to step up and play. They played well tonight, but the Holt Ram offense is not the DeWitt Panther offense. So that'll be an interesting matchup.
Certainly will, and we'll let you know probably as soon as tomorrow whether we're going to be doing that DeWitt at Mason game a week from tomorrow night. If that's the case, Doubting Industries' presentation of high school football will hit the air at 6 o'clock a week from tomorrow night, and then you'll join me from Mason Athletic Field. That's the sign that it says when you go into the parking lot at Mason High School, because they don't have a title for the stadium, and they deserve one because it's one of the nicest fields in the area.
Yeah.
One of the nicest grass fields, that is. So looks like we're going to be doing that one. DeWitt at Mason for week number 2 a week from tomorrow. Final thoughts on this game, Doc?
Well, we mentioned it. We touched on it a couple of times. Holt offense just not quite there. Better than they have been last year. Still playing a tough Mason team despite the Bulldogs having so much turnover, only having Case and Carswell coming back at quarterback, losing all 10 other starters. For Mason, lots of different guys contributed, and that's nice. You don't have to worry. You don't have to think that Kaysen has got to carry them the entire time. Excuse me. There's other guys that can come up and step up and play, and that running back rotation is not set yet. Caleb Vaughn started, but there's other guys that come in and play. Chapin played well. Dom Rodriguez had some carries as well. We know Logan Dorr is there at fullback, and he can get those plays when need to as well. But the receivers are solid. They're not quite the playmakers that they've had in the past.
First game.
But this is the first game, and they played
better.
well. Yep.
They'll get better. And Carswell, not at his best.
Nope.
Threw a bad interception.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty good.
Other than that, made great decision-making plays.
He was pretty good
and
tonight.
did what he needed to do. Yep,
pretty good tonight. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight at Holt High School. Thanks so much to Nathan Vandenberg for helping us out with technical problems before you and I, went on the air here at the stadium here tonight. We thank him for that. We thank the people here at Holt High School for the great hospitality, and thank you for listening. Thank you for the feedback that you have given us throughout the summer and throughout these years, saying you want high school football and high school sports here on the game 730 AM WVFN. Once again, our final, I'll read our great sponsors again one more time. Jeff and Chris Metz, Doubting Industries, recognizing the effort and commitment that athletes given to the sport. Best of luck to everyone playing tonight. The memories will be with you for the rest of your life. And you can check them out. More information, doubtingindustries.com. And Megan Zemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission, they just get it done year after year after year. Because no matter the sport, no matter the event, the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find out more details at their fantastic website, lansingsports.org. Great to be back with you once again, Eric.
Same for me.
For Eric Docklove, for Nathan Vandenberg, I'm Brock Palmbush. Thank you for listening to the game 730 AM WVFN. This has been Doubting Industries' presentation of high school football. Again, the final score, the Mason Bulldogs 26, the Holt Rams 7. Thank you for listening tonight. We will talk to you next Friday night.